across the world. Tune into our radio services, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. We can also be reached on social media through Facebook or YouTube on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV Live. Locally tune in to Super TV Channel 10. Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, Spoon Talk, setting Liberia's agenda for national growth.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with bones. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of my discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat Cape Town, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Skiddy dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of my discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepa, gradually, my brother, tout spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, tout spoon. Yeah.
Spoon Talk is here, Spoon Talk is there, Spoon Talk is everywhere. This is where you get authentic information that you can use as tools and not to abuse. Like Sandra Curry said in our quote, never mistake knowledge for wisdom. One helps you make a living, the other helps you make a life. Unquote. Spoon Talk is here. Get a friend to tell a friend that indeed another national discussion is in sight. The CEO and the rest of the team will be joining later. We have Dr. Richardson on the other end, James Good de Flomo, and my name is Rufus Divine Cannon, your sound coordinator for tonight's presentation. Before much I do, I turn over to the team out there. Dr. Richardson, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Rufus, and good day. How are you guys doing?
I'm privileged to be alive.
That's awesome. That's a good recognition. Can you say that again? You made a distinction between knowledge and wisdom.
Oh yeah. Oh, one is there to actually make life, and the other is just there to make living.
Okay.
So never make mistake of knowledge for wisdom. One helps you make a living, the other helps you make a life.
Nice. If you have the combination of both, you should be all set for this world, for making it through, for navigating this world.
James, why are you smiling?
No, I said when you get all, you are blessed.
Oh yeah.
I think when you're writing the God Money Us Club membership form, you should have a question about knowledge and wisdom on that. Yeah, that should be a requirement, a prerequisite to get into the God Money Club. You should know the difference between wisdom and knowledge. And then if you have both of those, you are blessed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So let's welcome all of our listeners, audience, viewers to Spoon TV, Spoon Talk, basically. We really appreciate you being here today, wherever you are. You're welcome to Spoon Talk. This is where, as Rufus told you, you can get your information to help you make more informed decision about our country, Liberia, the country that all of us love so much, no matter where we are. As usual, I always like to recognize those that are watching the show. I think it's very important because you guys are an integral part of the show. Your comments just kind of make the show even more important and essential. So I'm not going any particular order until perhaps the rest of my panelists join me here today. They can also continue. Let me just see who we have here. Eric Roberts, he's watching from Concotown. Theo Bra is watching from, he says, Statue of Liberty, I believe. Theo Destiny Weapa is watching from Singer 20th Street. My Jennison is here. Lee Papate Zuo, he says, long Dr. Richardson Howard's the ANC program. I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to talk about that, Lee. So just hold on. Nakita Wia Roberts is also watching. Jusu Tajeni is watching. He said, hello, Spoon family. Saka Jipio O Sakaya, that other Nina Isu from Iowa. Saka Jipo, hello from Iowa. Lawrence Cambo is from Iowa. James Good, help me recognize some of the names here. You can see it, right?
Daniel Junior Brazizi, were there?
Yeah. So I won't be the only one butchering these names here. Y'all help me.
Prince Cafe.
Yeah, so Philip Truman, he's watching from Pennsylvania. Solomon Tia is watching from Barnesville. Ben and Stop, he says. Ambassador Sheikh A. Japatet is watching. Yasa Getwo Wu is watching. Robert T. Taylor watching from Miami Beach. Okay, Miami Beach. Edwin Toma is watching from Tapata, Nima Kante. Patrick Jeppo is watching. Patrick, you just went so from Lufa County. He said Michael Leah is watching from Yikipa, Nima County. I like when we have people watching from the different counties, the Lufa counties, Nima County, Grand Jide, these different places. It's really exciting to see how widespread we are. Otello Finley is watching from District now 9. That's another thing. If you know your district, you're up to par. If you know exactly where your district is, you're really doing good. You sort of thinking politically in a way. Rose Frank is watching. Matthias Barnard is watching from Captain Bridge, from the high sea, he says. Rabina Fametta Louise Vincent, she said, hi, Special. When someone calls me Special, I know that you've been knowing me for a long time. That's my nickname. So Rabina,
that's your way bad name.
That's my way bad name. That's my government name, but I didn't need it. If you know me by that name, and you know plenty, you know my whole family, you know plenty of things. So Rabina, hello, how you doing? Team
Okay.
Yeah, anybody say hi, Special, you know me for real.
How you got a name Special?
Huh?
How you
Special
got a name
interview?
Special?
No, so no, my special interview, no Rufus there, no special that the only special interview that was Spoon Talk. I'm the first grandchild for my grandmother. And so when I came out, it was at ELW hospital at the time. And she just said, this is my special grandbaby. And so the rest of everybody just started calling me Special.
Wow. A very beautiful history.
Yeah. So I was the first, I'm the first grandchild actually.
Yeah, Paulo.
Gina, that other day sound like that. The way you said it so quickly, that sound like that.
No, my name is Yapaulo Wednesday. The Wednesday means stranger, somebody who is strange to a community or a town.
Okay.
That is when I was born. Yapaulo, that name, just like the way you have Rufus, you have Kana, you have Zau, you have Moluba. These are traditional names.
The only journalist that talked to the devil.
Oh yeah, I did that. So the
James,
okay,
the
way I got it, the way I got
it, just gonna ask you
the Yapaulo name back in Liberia, if you are a traditional person who been in a pro society, when you come by, they give you a special name. It means that you are a real man. So in Liberia, most especially in our Loma tradition, a man should have two names. Yeah, a man should have two names. So when you hear somebody telling you, Koluba, my name is Yankwe Koluba, or this, that last name is the name that the traditional people gave you when you went there. So my traditional name is Yapawo. It means I am a man. I went in the traditional bush, but that was way back. I was a little boy when I went. Yeah.
So, I have to tell you that I can't recall the story exactly, but the name, I remember the song Yabalo, who gave you gun?
Yeah, that's when I was doing the war. They said Loma Man.
No, way before the war. That's
back
you can tell how old I am because that was way.
I got that story. My dad told me that story. Back in the days, you had the Loman people dominating the AFL.
The military.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, so that's where it came from.
Yes. And one of them, I think he actually killed somebody, if I remember the story correctly. My parents told me the story, but I can't remember it. And so I think Liberian people were like, who gave him gun? And they made a song out of that, like that.
Yeah, so somebody talking about women to have two names. Women will have two names when you get married, or if they go to the Sandal Bush, they come back, you will have your last name.
That's nice. That's
tradition. It's normal in Liberia. I think it's in every every sector. That is every traditional aspect of Liberia, not just the Loma people.
It does have some religious aspects to it. I
Mhm.
know that when you become a nun, you also get a different name. So I work with a lot of nun because I work at a Catholic institution. So they
Okay.
tell me that they give them like they name them differently when they go in there. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. See how tradition can be in some
Yeah.
it yes.
We just missed it or something.
Yeah, that interesting. That is interesting. So Mr. Jesse Farmer is here also. I saw Mr. Farmer this weekend. Hi, Jesse. How are you? Um, I mean, a lot of people talk about Spoon Talk, so I want to give you guys all of the credit for the work that you do as well. James, Good Day, and Rufus. You know, sometimes we get to go out there, we hear all the say about Spoon Talk. There was a lot of questions about Spoon Talk this
Okay.
weekend. So we want to tell you guys thank you for the excellent job that you do, you know, about informing the world. Basically, that's where we're out there. We're reaching out to the world, educating them about Liberia, telling them about news from Liberia. What are you reading, James?
CO is distracting me.
Echo, he in it back there. He eating, huh?
Yeah, no, not eating. The thing he's
Oh,
showing you, I don't want to talk.
oh, okay, yeah. You keep that other secret then.
He did it to me the other James. I know
He's
I ain't showing.
distracting me.
The other day.
Can y'all hold on a second? I'm gonna mute myself because I have to take a phone call.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he's coming on.
Go ahead, Dr. Richardson. Take your phone call. Talk to the ANC people. Talk to the ANC people. Rufus,
Yes,
I mean, I
sir.
tell you, so you're not seeing us in the back. No. Do
Not
you
at
have
all.
access? Oh, man, you
No, he
miss
can
it.
see.
You miss it. There's a lot. It was a lot, Rufus. Rufus just shaking his head. He said, hey, go.
You see, gente,
There's a camp going around the Ravafi Highway that says smell no taste. You know that area, right?
I know that place.
Yeah, no smell notice.
Yeah, smell no taste will be on fire this at the end of this month. I heard that Nathaniel McGill leading a group in that area to talk about his bid.
Wow.
Let's see, he got to be senator in McGibby.
Wow.
So Mike say you want to put a place on fire. Smell no taste, the airport, Firestone, Femiton Hotel, that entire surrounding. That time I get from Rabofeed Junction all the way to the airport, he's gonna put it on the lockdown. I said, wow. Yeah. Somebody called me, they said, listen, Maggie is about to take over McGibby County. I said, McGibby? Has he finally decided on McGibby? I thought we were talking about Bapolu or Bon County, but Maggie talking about McGibby?
He's
I'm
from
going to bring
Maggie.
in Honorable Samuel Coker will be our guest. I mean, guest panelist we're going to discuss. We're going to talk about ANC again. We're going to talk about Garrison endorsement to Mr. Cummings, the serious impact. We're going to dive into a little bit of ANC story about their program. And Mr. Cummings is saying in America, you know, his meet and greet, his engagement. We're going to talk about Joseph Yuman Boaka, what the Papi up to, you know, Ambassador Boaka, what's going on with him. We are hearing different information about Yuri and Youngbley. We're going to talk about Mana himself. What's up with the president's VP? We want to say welcome, everyone. Invite your friends. They're going to be electrifying today. Philip Passois, Spoon Talk is strong all the way. I believe it, my brother. We want to say a couple of folks were missing at the ANC program. Permanent ANC members, or those that, you know, show love for Mr. Cummings. And somebody said, but Mr. Cummings made some mistakes. I said, Mr. Cummings or the committee? Dr. Richard said, I'm so happy to have you back on Spoon Talk. I can't wait for Mariah Yakula, Chairman Ben Senvis, and Tumalin George, Kefiko Hassan, and Dr. Peabody. What's going on? What's going on with Dr. Peabody these few days? You know, he's not on, he's not off. But somebody said Cummings missed an opportunity. And I want you to go, if you can, Cummings, whether it was deliberate or whether, you know, you said that was, you know, he missed an opportunity by not involving CPP. Reverse, CPP on a Liberty Party gave Comey strength. But the ANC program, Mr. Comey didn't recognize, or at least send a shout out to CPP. So some of the CPP folks, Liberty Party CPP folks, reached out to me and they were complaining. And I said, if I say again, they will say I let talking. Before you know what I mean? But I think they have a legitimate reason and concern why Mr. Comey didn't mention Liberty Party CPP. Why he didn't mention Musa Hassan Bility. You know, he didn't talk about his Tim Cummings. You know, Tim Cummings is the CPP Tim Cummings. It's not ANC. But something is missing. I can't wait for the guys. You know? And my girl on a game plan with my Gibi, I want us to talk about it because somebody is not too happy. Nukwe is not too happy. That my gay want to be a senator for my Gibi. Nukwe is on video recording. Nukwe is complaining. Nukwe is, you know, in all these things say I'm not happy. So we'll talk about it. But Dr. Richardson, we got a few more seconds, maybe 2, 3, 4, or maybe we can say one more minute. We're going to bring in Honorable Samuel Koga. Samuel Koga is going to lecture with us tonight because it is important. He's going to talk about politics and he's going to talk about his position as chair on commerce. You know, you can accuse him, of course, that he taking money, allegation that he taking money from the Lebanese people to talk about tires and car batteries and everything. He got to explain himself. But let me hold you a little bit on this commerce thing, Dr. Richardson. So we're waiting for the other guys, then we'll bring it. Let me bring in Honorable Koga. The folks want to see Samuel Koga. Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on. There's no need to wait. He's a librarian. We can talk everything plus and more. Sam Koga, what's good? James, if you're here with your Christmas light, then you just go off. When you off and on, want to be stable up here, James. Mr. Koga, Representative Koga, how you doing? Before we're not hearing the man. You know you gotta come back on first because you're messed up.
I'm okay.
Oh, now
you getting me, please?
Yes.
You're loud and clear. How you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm okay.
I know you're coming on regularly this time. You're gonna be panelist soon on Spawn Talk. I'm hearing the people say they're gonna bring you on twice a week this time to talk about the issues in Liberia. You're a strong representative. It's always good to have you. Since this rest situation started, we've been hearing from you. You've been very fair. But allegation came forth yesterday from District Number 10, Moserado County Representative Yeke Koduba accusing you that you're taking money from Lebanese and Fulanese and all the business people in Liberia as chair on commerce. You're taking between $5,000 to $7,000. You're asking them to give you that money, give your committee that money, that you will not go after them after you put out this letter. And I believe we have the letter. We'll give you time to explain because it is important for you to do so. The allegation is not easy, but they are saying that, yes, indeed, this letter was sent out. As you can see, Dr. Richardson, I believe I sent the letter to you.
Yes, he did.
It was in our chat room. You put a letter calling the Lebanese people for a committee, Mr. Koga. And you said that you'll come. I want to hear honor the article, blank. You'll need to come and answer some questions. But your federal lawmakers is saying that no, this is just a pretense. You are asking them for money. Allegation that you always take money from the business people. Abijale, Seti brothers, Nigerians businessmen and women, and you're covering for them. Let me give you the chance. I will read the letter you sent out. But let me give you the chance to read it. This is a big allegation on your character. And you need to speak to Liberians to not listen to you. Talk to us, Representative Koga.
Thank you very much. I would like to seek the listening audience, listening under my voice this evening to first of all extend my greetings and best wishes to all Liberians. It is always good to be a spoon, and it is always good to be factual in whatsoever you endeavor in life. To begin with, in order for one to serve on a committee, it based on placement of personnel based on qualification. So, first of all, what gave rise to our letters being written out there? Liberia 1986 Constitution, Article 38 reads, each house shall adopt its own rules of procedure in force order and with the concurrence of 2/3 of the entire membership may expel a member for cause. Each house shall establish its own committees and subcommittees, provided, however, that the committees on revenues and appropriations shall consist of one member from each county. All rules adopted by the legislature shall conform to the requirement of due process of law laid down in this constitution. There where the formation of committees at the legislature came from. Then Rule 50, committee powers. 50.1, each committee, including any special committee shall have the power to inspect, examine, inquire into, and pass upon at least one report at each session on all matters within its jurisdiction, and to hold such hearings and investigation which the committee may find necessary. Rule 59.1, Committee on Commerce and Industry, to which shall be referred all proposed legislations, messages, petitions, memories, and other matters relating to the work of the committee as follows. Commerce, industry, and commercial transactions generally. B, domestic and foreign trade, export and imports, consumer affairs, consumer protection and pricing standards. D, regulation of businesses, consumer products and services. E, protective tariffs and embargoes, export and import controls. F, companies, corporations, concessions, and manufacturing firms. These are the power that the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia gives to the legislature subsequently to form committee, and the committee charged with the responsibility to perform the following. Predicated upon this, on numerous occasions, we decided to write sectors, ministries, agencies, and business communities, first of all, for conferences, so that we'll be able to have an insight of what is unfolding in the country before we commence. So in that light, on June 3, 2021, we wrote the Minister of Commerce. Dear Honorable Minister, please accept my heartfelt compliments, and I am very pleased to write by director of the House's Committee on Commerce and Industry to invite you to a conference scheduled on Friday, June 11, 2021 at 11 a.m. The conference takes place in the first floor conference room, House Wing, Capitol Building. Sir, Madam, the committee attention is drawn to the devastating wave of the COVID-19 that's hampering the world, especially India and other countries that export rice. Let me get a clearer picture, please. The export
So
rights.
it's okay. We just want to fast forward because we got a lot to discuss. Representative Kogar, you invited the Commerce
Okay,
Ministry. Did she?
Yeah.
She respected
The
your
Ministry
invite.
of Commerce, the Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of the LRA, all of them, yes, they came for the meeting.
Okay.
And then what necessitated the letter that went to the business community that importing spare parts and vehicles. We first of all started inviting vehicle dealers, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Prestige, or how do you call it, Ford Ranger and other vehicles.
So you invited the Master Trading, African Motors, Auto Run, Auto Elegance, Auto Spray. Let's just name them. Yeah.
Let me get to that, friend. What prompted that? What I want to tell you.
Okay.
So we invited Catus Motors Incorporated. And in our invitation, we requested for several documents to be provided, simply because the chief clerk of the Republic of Liberia was one of the customers for Catus Motors Incorporated. The house bought a vehicle for she, the deputy chief clerk, and the sergeant at arms. One of the vehicles, especially the one that was used by the chief clerk, within a month, it developed pump problem. And then she took the vehicle to them for the first time. They according to them, they repair it. The second time, the same problem ensued. So this time around, she said she cannot take delivery of the vehicle because the vehicle is a brand new vehicle. And with less than 3 months, the developing such a problem is an embarrassment to them. Predicated upon this, we wrote them to bring all relevant information leading to that. So they brought the document. So we requested for the guarantee and warranted certificate from the country of origin, the country of supply. So he brought this document, and there is a document. I will leave copy at the station here.
Okay.
So when he brought it, he explained the situation. So we were able to have come to a logical conclusion that he was going to provide the chief clerk another vehicle brand new than the other one, since she doesn't want it. And it was on grounds that the fact that the vehicle was bought and was brand new, there must be some level of guarantee from the supplier or the manufacturer. So if this happened to the chief clerk and nothing may happen or nothing happen, why if somebody is in Maryland having to buy a brand new car and went to Kipamos? So we decided to flag the issue so that we have some insight and make sure that there will be some level of deterrence. Catus CEO had agreed finally, and I even brought in a brochures that he sent to the chief clerk, and the chief clerk decided which car she wanted, and the car had been accepted. By December, the car will be arriving in country. In our meeting,
what was happening with no. We let's take our time. We'll give you let's take our time. What was happening to the chief car?
What was the problem? It developed fuel pump problem. Okay. And first the company said that he said that perhaps the gasoline she bought was a cause. So I said, no. In the first place, if you are manufacturing, if you are a dealer of a motor vehicle, in the first place, your manufacturing company must have sent agent in a country in which you're going to be the sale. You're going to sell the distributor for them.
I want you to pause that ask because if you go too far now, we'll forget some of our questions. If you go in too deep, we'll forget some of our questions. Let's welcome Kev. Kev, thank you for joining us, Kev. The issue about this car issue, the battery issue, the tires, and everything concerning everything that you cover as chair on commerce. When did you get to know that these were issues and problems in Liberia? When?
Sometimes you should know that the House of Representatives is now a police where tell people activities. Our investigation or community oversight based on reports or information being provided.
So when did you get to know that the country
Well,
had an issue with those importers?
Sir, we started this almost since 2017. We started with the manufacturer company that produces that buying goods. We started with the used clothes dealers, and we have letter to that effect that we sent to the Ministry of Commerce listing some businesses that violating the liberalization law because they are the enforcement arm. When such a thing is discovered by the oversight, you inform the Ministry of Commerce. So we wrote up, we got a letter here. We will leave copy with the radio station, but I want you to give me a time. Let me explain. The issue of the letter.
Honorable,
yeah.
I want to take you back to your issue of, having the car recalled. You said that the clerk says she put, or the dealer says she put bad gas in the car. That's what caused the problem. It is a fact.
He was assuming that was a likelihood. That was a likelihood that the gasoline she bought on the side was a cause.
Okay.
So in my thinking, I said when you have a warranty on a vehicle, when you buy a vehicle, the warranty continue the parts of the car there where the warranty lasts on. So whenever a parts damage, the manufacturer will be notified that the car you sold to us, there is a mechanical problem either on the key starter or the
I see your good intent. I see your good intent in terms of regulating the way how cars are brought in our country, whether they're good or bad. I really see your good intent.
Yes.
But I'm also thinking about looking at other the factors that can contribute to having a bad. And again, I'm not a car person. Trust me, my husband takes care of the car in the house, but I do know that he services the car regularly, and that everything is not covered under warranty. And sometimes the user of the product can cause the defect on the car. So it's not just all whether the car brand new or not. So I just wanted to just throw that out there to you to make sure that you're taking all of these factors into consideration as you regulate products that come into the country. How it's been used, what it's been used on. Sometimes that can cause the product to be defective.
Well, madam, let me tell you, the issue of vehicle, the car industry, per continent, in Asia, the warranty on a vehicle is 5 years. In Europe, it's 7 years. In Africa, it's 3 years. Because of the
Yes. Okay. I'm not an expert in this area, okay? And sometimes I just get in my car and drive. But my understanding is warranty have different terms.
The pass.
Yes.
Pass on a vehicle. That's where the warranty lasts.
Yes, but it's
Durability
more complicated than the way you're saying it, sir. It's very complicated. Because sometimes you can have warranty on an engine, just the engine, and then there's something inside of the engine that get defected. But what I'm trying to say,
so let me Dr. Richardson, I want to also give him a chance that he finish up real quick. Because it's not only about
the vehicle. There are other things that we need to discuss. Now, when the warranty, for instance, if you went as a car dealer to buy a car and you ask a company to manufacture a car for you for a specific country, based on the terrain where the car going, the manufacturer will prepare the car to withstand certain tension based upon the locality. Most of the car that comes to Africa. And then the warranty of a car, for instance, the vehicle itself may cost 30,000 at the factory at bulk price. And then the warranty could be 2,000 or 1,500 as warranty. The warranty will include the parts, tire bending, early, stabilizer link, key starters, and etc.
Representative Koga,
So when they
that's
see
actually, I want us to
when you
make this so
have
simple for our people. I ask you the question,
a,
when did you get to know that this problem is a Liberian problem? These things happening in Liberia every day. When? You said 2017. From
yeah.
2017 up to now, what have you done? You say you are not a police officer. A report should be made first, then you guys can investigate. Is that what you're telling Liberians tonight? From 2017
The
up to now,
car, the
this is
vehicle,
your first
excuse me,
case
sir.
because it happened to your chief clerk.
No, the issue of vehicle was the very first instance. The issue of vehicles. But other issues that we commence our committee work on has to do with manufacturing company. And the liberalization law provides that Liberia should be the sole distributor of goods that is manufactured in Liberia. You understand? So based upon this, those countries, I mean, those companies that are manufacturing goods were invited to submit listing of distributors that are distributing their commodities. So though that they were the first, I mean, that the first instance, and they provide a listing of this entity. So we realized that there was some Indian merchant as well as some Lebanese merchant, and we told them that it was wrong. And it was clear, and we had a even press conference on it. It was not secret. We had a public hearing where they call it Patel. Patel was present. It came a time we invited the Liberian business, the Chamber of Commerce, and we had a opening hearing on those things. It was not a secret. Then from there, the next step we took was a used clothing, because you can't put everything at once. So when we engaged a used clothes dealer, we realized that there was some Lebanese merchants that were doing liberalization job. So we wrote the Ministry of Commerce with a listing of those entities, informing her that these people are violating the liberalization law. You as an enforcement arm need to come and ensure that these people they stop the activities of having such, businesses involving in such businesses. This was the letter that we wrote to the Ministry of Commerce as well. So I will leave a copy of the letter with your company, with your station here, so that you will have an informed position. We also invited the petroleum industry.
Yeah, but I want to. So, what was your recommendation? Let's go back to the car issue. What was your recommendation after your investigation?
With
after
the car
the
issue,
public statement, yeah. What was your recommendation to those businesses?
You need a vehicle, or which one? You got to be specific, because I'm discussing issues.
You said, let's talk about. Let's take it one at a time. Yes.
Yeah.
What was your recommendation?
The vehicle. My recommendation to the manager was that he needs to replace the car, which he consented to. He agreed. And in December, the chief clerk car will be here. That was the conclusion we came up to, because it was established.
So did you further investigate? Did you further investigate whether they have other Liberian citizens going through the same problem under that company? Or you just let him slide?
No. So when that happened and the car, the company accepted that, that's the time now we decided to include all cars importer, CIVCA. These are CIVCA warranty documents. I will leave copy at your station here. We invited CIVCA, they came and they brought documents in the cartoon. The documents at the office as I speak. We asked them all the information, the basic informations that require importation to bring them over, and more over, there shall be we'll let to see the warranty. And this is the warranty conditions of the car. And we outline, these are the warranty. The conditions are there. I will leave copy here so they can send it to you.
All right. And I know you're right. We will distribute what you're going to leave. Before I bring Kev on, before I bring Kev on, Honorable Koga, why is Yeke accusing you with the allegation? The allegation that they are making, saying that you are requesting between 5,000 to 7,000 from businesses out there that they must give you that amount of money. Why are we here with such allegation on your character?
Thank you very much. In the first place, Yeke information is baseless and it has no IOP of truth. Yeke is noted for false alarming. Yeke went the last time over radio, first of all, and said that Finna has a right behind the executive mansion and that they were taking the rice there to go sell. And after he spoke, according to him, security had a blockade at the executive mansion, no car was passing easily. If there is a crisis in the country with respect to rights, and you inciting the citizen against the executive, and the executive is where the president house, the security will be proactive to protect that area because the citizens that are hungry, there is a likelihood that the Romans circulating, they will believe and immediately move at our executive mansion, which will be chaos. So security were proactive and they took stand. That was a false information. And then more besides, honor our rules. We got rules 40. Honesty and transparency. Honorable Koluba is not honest. In the first place, at no point in time, Honorable Koluba had ever met me to even ask me about anything of such nation, whether there is an investigation ongoing. No. In the first place, they communicate the letter you sent to me, you black it. If Honorable Koluba is so indeed a man, he would have exhibited clearly what communication you were referring to. Honorable Koluba, to tell us Samuel Koga that I am taking money from companies is far from the reality. And I challenge him vehemently to provide that evidence. You understand? I'm speaking clearly and I can defend myself. But the issue of the allegation, I will challenge him at the legislature because there are rules and regulations that govern that. False alarm under our law is a crime. Where you look at a person of an individual, and accuse him falsely to malign his character on a big platform, I'm not going to take it lightly. So the reason why these letters were written to the spare parts and battery seller was because where we were at the chief level present, the three of us, and then Joe Baba, who controls Katu's motors, admitted that, look, the exercise you guys are on is truth. I can remember one of my clients' car had a problem and we decided to buy a battery to replace it. When we went to buy the battery, instead of getting 75 amps, the shelf was designed as 75 amps, but in the battery itself was 65. So the easiest way we did to discover was we took the old 75 amp and weighed and put on the scale.
This thing going to be like a spotter story. This every day, same challenging time. We are here having this conversation as if to say it's a new problem. You said since 2017 you've been investigating. We are here talking about yesterday. What have you done? Only because of your chief clerk? Now erase the alarm that you want to go ahead and act upon all businesses, people are importing cars. Did you ask that company? No, Honorable Koga, 1 minute. Did you ask the company whether you had another Liberian facing the same situation? After they say we will get your chief clerk of December. Yeah, did you ask that company? Do you have names of other people that are on a similar situation?
Even ask him. I said it. I said this is the reason why we requested for document to show whether they had paid for some warranty. People had material had damaged and they brought it to them and they replaced. They say yes. I told you the documents, they brought volumes of documents where people put in claims.
So are they going to replace everybody car? My last question will bring the guys in. Are they now going to replace everybody car that having a problem? Is that the way your investigation going or just your chief clerk?
Stanton, we investigate cases or situations based on what unfolding. The present issue on our review has to do with the case study is the chief clerk. I told you that we have investigated other issues, but with respect to the vehicle, it was clearly originated from the chief clerk, and then we decided instead of Catus alone, we decided to involve all of the car, the used car, the car dealers. Mr. George Haddad came to my office. He spent 2 hours. And when he came, he showed the vehicle that he importing. He's one of those in Liberia that if you plug his sashi in the phone, the country of origin that the car was made for will exhibit, will come out. So he told me he's a mean person that even first of all talk about the guarantee, the warranty of a vehicle. He said you need to carry out the investigation.
Let me bring the other guys on. We want to say, you know what, we respect you for coming on the network again. We want to say thank you. Welcome Dr. Peabody and welcome Mariah, Representative Yeka Koluba. Thank you for joining us. I know we'll not take forever on this issue because the allegation that Yeka Koluba is making against you, Liberian want to hear, and we got to be fair to you, Representative Koga. Kev Hassan, your question. Then we'll bring in Honorable Koluba, Dr. Peabody, and Mariah.
Honorable Koga, how are you, sir?
How are you, sir? How are you?
You know what's going on in the House about Yeka giving some of this allegation. Don't you think it's about time for you guys to take this false allegation Yeka always bringing upon people, especially Honorable Ben? Don't you think it's about time for the House to come together and see what to be done? Because this could be a serious issue one day. You made an example on the race issue behind the mansion. The people could have gone there and strike and say we want our rights based on Yeka false allegation. Why you guys not come together and do something that Yeka? I'm talking about bipartisan issue now here. That you can come together and see how best you can handle this issue, because this false allegation that Yeka is throwing around, one day something will happen. So we all know that Yeka do have arrangement with some of those Lebanese people that he go around. He said it yesterday, the other day, say those things stop. He can't get his money. He let cut on the side and all that stuff. But now he want to blow alarm and like something else going on. Why you can't call? Why the House cannot come together and see how can stop this lies that Yeka been and parading and trumpeting around since 2018. You know, that's my first question to you, sir. Why you can't come together?
Thank you. Let's do one very quick. Honorable Koga, can you answer, please? Are you hearing us, Honorable Koga?
Yes, I'm getting you. Okay, with respect to his question, do you want me to answer now?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to ask you one question each, please.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Answer. You can answer. We're good.
Okay, so, with respect to your question in the first place, the law says you should be a victim or you should be affected on a circumstance before an action is taken. What do I mean? The insults and other allegations have been around the president. The president is a citizen of the Republic of Liberia. He has a right to take action against Yeka Koluba. But for this identical one, I will take issue with Yeka because my reputation is at stake. I'm going to formally complain to the legislature based on our rules. He breached our rules and he maligned my character. And he was very clear yesterday to have said that since President Taylor left, he living on the Lebanese. So yes, what do you expect of a man who live on the Lebanese
He said it
Not to say
yesterday.
negative thing about a colleagues, who is a colleague at the representative, at the House of Representatives for a foreigner. I'm sorry to say it. That is wrong. It's against our rules. Honesty and transparency is being violated by Honorable Yeke Koluba. And also, prestige and dignity is also being violated. They say, honor our rules. It states that an honorable should always be honorable at all places. You understand? Honorable Yeke, I think he has reached the rare land. I'm going to challenge him, and he's going to prove whatsoever he got against me in court. But we'll first start at the legislature. If there is nothing, then I proceed otherwise. I'm not here for free talk. I'm here to exhibit. And those things that get Ras to inviting these individuals, even the individuals.
Yeah, so Kev, let's ask one question on Run Around because we'll not keep the honorable for too long. Please. I bet.
I believe.
Go ahead, Mr. Koga, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe the company Honorable Yeke Koluba is protecting. They are involved in dubious activity in the country, so they're using it as a shield. Because there are others who are complying, and they brought a warranted certificate that I can exhibit like this. There's a company we invited. This is a warranted certificate they brought for the spare parts and battery they bring in the country. If you think you are doing the rightful thing, why will you go to a lawmaker to malaise a colleague character? That identical level email will be identified. And I will ensure that those information that is needed be brought to the plenary. These are the examples I'm showing you.
Thank you, Mr. Koga. Thank you, Mr. Koga. The allegation was brought by Representative.
And I will give it to you. But that gentleman,
Mr. Koga, thank you.
Representing his people, he gone beyond his bound. And I'm going to take him to tax. I can tell you for free.
Mr. Koga, thank you very much. Before I bring in Peabody, Mariah, our brother Santomari, and going back to that to Richard saying, I'd like to speak to Representative Yeke Koluba from District Number 10. Representative Koluba, we had you on the show yesterday. We read the letter you sent. Allegation against Representative Koga. He's on the show. You are on the show. Let's talk. You have heard what he said, and now let me give you the chance to speak to the Liberian people as well. Seriously, let's have some serious conversation, sir.
Can I go ahead now? Learn it to exhibit what order have, then you can come in with counter. Because I haven't learned that.
Can I go ahead now?
I mean, you are quite correct. I want us to talk about this allegation.
Very good.
Because
a case, then he can come up with counter, please.
No. Let me give you a few seconds. We have heard you for almost 30 minutes. Honorable Koluba, please.
Stanton, let me say hi to the people of District Number 10, my supporters around the world, and my supporters in Liberia. Let me say this. My statement that rests were carried to the Minister of State, where I stand by it. I got no regret for saying it. And what I said on the platform, when I sent that communication to you, I said it's being alleged that Honorable Koga is receiving. The tape is there. Thank God you're recalling, your recalling, your previous recalling is there. It's being alleged that Honorable Koga is receiving 5,000, 4,000, 7,000 from business people. Stanton, let me just bring the quick question to you so you can ask Honorable Koga. Honorable Koga, were you on Ronald Street last week in auto spare service?
Honorable, you want to answer his question?
Pardon?
Were you on Ronald Street last week in auto spare service?
Ronald Street.
Auto spare service. I've been specific. I've been very specific.
Excuse me. Right away answer, please. No, please be respectful. It's not right away.
I'm very sorry.
It is
Honorable, go ahead. Sorry.
Listen to me. Listen to me. On Ronald Street, it's so good. There is a lawyer that auto spare service complained to. There was an Indian guy there that duped him. Each time I pay money, he duped him. And they tired our heart. To change it, I sent my driver there. And then he did not. And based upon this, We went into the case, the lawyer wrote me. Woman, don't lie. The lawyer wrote me a letter, and I have the letter stamped on. You understand? They wrote me, and I challenged them that at no point in time I ever owe you people. The lawyer is my witness. Sherman, I think Sherman, not Sherman, but Shannon, someone else, a law firm. I said, I'm not owing
Stand
you.
up. Can I go ahead now?
That was the time we went there, and I make it clear. And I asked, I said, where is the Indian guy that was here? They say, no, the man is in court because he duped us. I said, but no, I am not owing you. That's the only thing I remember of.
Stand up. Can I go ahead now?
Please go ahead. I want to bring the other guys in.
You know why? You know why I'm laughing, Stand up? The report, trust me. You can call about any information I give you is correct. As I'm on my phone, I have a number that I register in somebody's name, not in my name. So you can trace that number that I get my information from. It's been alleged. Let me say this again. It's been alleged. Sometime last week, Honorable Coker was to auto spare service. It's been alleged that there where he went to receive the money. You getting me? So, Kev, when we're talking real basically security issue about this country, just sit down and wait. I said it's being alleged, and he just agreed that he was the auto spare service last week. Look, we shouldn't be joking with the people.
I never said last. I want you to.
I maintained last week. I maintained last week.
No. No,
I maintained last week.
The letter the lawyer wrote me, the letter is about 2 months back. We're talking about something a month back. I got a letter because they are journalists. It's so good.
So Honorable Koga, Honorable Koruba, this is what we're going to do. Yeke have asked you his question, the reason why he think the allegation was made. Let me bring in the rest of the guys. They have heard.
I got more to say, so let the rest of the people come in. I want to get some information.
Exactly. And listen, Liberians now, they are listening, people joining the show, making comments like crazy. Let's have a good show. We will not interrupt each other. We'll give everyone a chance. Dr. Peabody, you come in. Antonio Yakula, you will please speak. Chief St. Thomas George. Then we'll go to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Peabody, please.
Representative Kogar, good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome again to the Spoon Talk.
Thank you, sir.
All right. The alleged allegation against you by Representative Kogar seem to be. I mean, you have your colleague here, and he's saying these things. That's something serious, and he's saying that I'm not lying. I'm saying the truth. How will you respond to him? I mean, this is a grave allegation, Honorable Koga.
Is that your question, sir?
Yeah, how will you respond? I mean,
the issue of Yeke is not today it started. I have been number one person that always asked the House to represent Yeke. The records are there. I have been number one on many occasions. The way he composed himself at the House, I said he always breached the rules. These are things he harbor. He asked buff all the entire House. Is that secret? I'm on tape for telling Yeke that his comportment at the legislature does not resemble him. In 2018, I started when we were in the joint chamber. When the 16 billion that were missing, Yeke came out to say the container was adjust President Weah's resident. So I said, Honorable Speaker, this man is an honorable person. The statement he made, this statement is not a statement to be lightly taken. Therefore, we need to ask Yeke to provide evidence so that we can get the container. Yeke couldn't provide. I said, this gentleman need to be subjected to investigation. And that was my recommendation. You understand? Then the second one, it was when he went in session and began to cause woman cause, insult everybody at the floor. So that gathered and told the speaker once again that Yeke behavior is not a good behavior. Yeke need to be suspended. So he had harbored this against me to malign my character. The only thing that I know about auto spare service was I bought a tire from them and the tire bent. So I returned it and they never gave it to me. So I changed them as a normal buy thing from them since almost 2 years. But when the lawyer wrote in favor of them that I was owing them, I challenged it. I replied. The communication exchange between us is at the office. If I knew, I would have brought it along with me. But I will also ask for Spoon to send their agent in my office tomorrow morning. They will receive the exchange of communication between the lawyer and I. You understand? I changed my garage.
Just one question for Dr. P, but I beg you. I beg you. Let's move on, and we'll come back and do another round. Anthony Yakula?
Stanton, I don't have a question now. I'm still trying to follow the conversation. I came in late. So
thank you very much, ma'am. Sentimony Josh?
Honorable Kolba. Hello? Okay. Hear myself.
We can hear you, Tony.
I hear myself. That's right. Okay.
I'm getting you, sir.
Okay, Honorable Kolba. You get Kolba.
Kolba is not on. He just left his seat.
Oh, okay. My question was there. But Honorable Koga, good to see you again. My question is, I just want to come back to this rest issue. Your committee, you told us on this program that you're going to cite the ministers of commerce and those involved in charge with the rest, handling the rest issue. Since we know some rights in the country, but have you followed through with your commitment to the Liberian people that you're going to cite them to give reasons why we had our rights problem?
Well, the issue under review has to do with allegation labeled against me with by Yeke Kolova, which I have come to defend. But with respect to the commitment in the rest industry, investigation is ongoing. We have written the Ministry of Finance. She has responded. We have written the Ministry of Commerce. They haven't yet responded. And we wrote another letter reminding them today. So we anticipate that Wednesday or Thursday, the Ministry of Commerce will be providing documents to us. So my focus is my character that I've been defamed should first of all be clarified. It's an allegation that my colleagues will come and say alleged.
Okay, my question
your question for Kolba,
Yeah, Honorable Kolba, you made allegations against your colleague. Have you written a formal complaint to the House, to the appropriate House committee, that would handle such a allegation?
Go ahead.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear you because I was muted.
I said allegations against your colleague, Honorable Koga. Have you written a House committee that handles such a complaint, formal complaint on the allegations?
Look, I have written a lot of communication to that place.
Okay.
They have not been respected. When you see me coming to the public, trying to bring an issue, it's because my issue is not being handled to the House. If my issues that have been written have been handled to the House, then we could be writing communication. After I written communication, I wrote communication that it's a member of the House gives false information. He should be investigated. Akara's way. What that communication brought on the floor, that communication, he falsehood. I said it's being alleged. They still told. Let me ask you one question again to ask Honorable Koga. Honorable Koga, when you went to auto spare service, you remember you sent for one lady man that also sells spare parts in auto spare service or office? You remember you said for one lady man that sells spare parts? I
said my going there was based on challenging them. And I told them I was going to identify the gentleman.
There's another man that got auto pass.
No.
There's another man that got auto pass that you sent for.
No. But you gotta bring the person come to life.
Look, we shouldn't be joking with the Liberian people. A lot of people go and buy cars and battery. Their cars
that is a worse
Honorable Yeke, he's asking you who this fellow you are talking about.
This is unfair.
He's asking you who the fellow you're talking about. You can't just call.
So can I talk?
Yeah.
Sir, if, for instance, you are accusing an individual say, didn't you talk to XYZ or see this person? The person will be brought forth. That's an allegation. Then the person will serve as a witness. But you can't just malas somebody's character on that. You can't do that. To be filibustering on that, I will not accept it.
So, Honorable Koluba, yeah, go ahead, please. His repetition. You got thousands of folks listening to us tonight. You have to. Okay, Honorable Koga, thank you. You can go ahead, please. Who's the leveling man?
Now I say again. Now I say again. It's been alleged on that day that Honorable Koga went to Auto Spare. It's been alleged he went to pick up money from there, and he sent for. It's been alleged that he sent for another business Lebanese man in Auto Spare's office. It's been alleged. That's the speculation. So he just agreed to one. I'm trying to get a guy name. I just want to get a name.
Information presiding. Information, Mr. Money.
Go ahead, Mr. Koga, because we got to wrap this thing up. Go ahead.
Speaking, it does not sound and does not resemble an honorable language. You don't speculate on people's character. You don't speculate on people's character. You must be clear.
Speculated on mine to say I'm prosecuting for people that are doing bad business. You have accused me. You have accused me. You have accused me. Your own you say I'm prosecuting for people that are duping the Lebanese people.
Living on Lebanese.
Yeah, I agree.
You said it. The records are.
I agree. That's why I'm getting the information I'm getting.
So you can hold on. Representative Koluba, hold on 1 minute.
Yeah, let go.
Yeah, the
Representative Koga.
Lebanese will say the worst thing about somebody who trying to expose those who involved in unscrupulous business. So that
Representative Koga.
Yes, sir.
Representative Koga. Let us try to lay this to rest, because I think we should come back on the conversation. I'm going to ask you, for the sake of our folks, I'm going to ask you, Representative Koga. Representative Koga, 1 minute. Be very, yeah, but be very clear now. Representative Koga, be very clear. The allegation about you, Representative Samuel Koga, please, we'll give you the chance. You will speak, please. The allegation that you received 4,000, 5,000, 7,000. Are you denying such an allegation? It is totally false. Yes. I want to give you the chance.
It's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie.
I just want to hold you right there, because we got to lay this to rest. Representative Koduba, do you have any document to substantiate the allegation coming forth on Representative Koga? You have any document beside allegation, beside yes say? Do you have anything to show Liberian tonight?
Stand on.
Yes, sir.
Stand on. You know, when you get lawmakers saying they got rules, and the rules, our rules are not being followed, our rules are being disrespected by people that claim that they know the rules or they know our rules, it's very unfortunate. You understand what I'm saying? The issue is the information I got. When I got the information, I call some of the colleagues that on the committee, and being alleged by some of the colleagues that they name me a well-low communication.
Okay. Yeah. So we thank you very much, Honorable Koga. We're talking about allegation. Mariah, you ready to comment? Dr. Richardson, you ready to comment? I want to wrap this thing up. Please.
I'd like to come in. So, Honorable Koga, I actually just want to know your role as a lawmaker in this whole warranty business. I want to know what laws are you thinking about, or have you proffered up to the floor to prevent people from bringing faulty parts to the country, or to bad car parts or bad products into the country? I'm surprised that you are actually in the role of policing. It seems to me that you now have gathered information, you would be passing it over to like the Justice Department to then investigate these people and bring them to book. But it seems like you lawmaking, you policing warranted issues. And is that your role as a lawmaker?
Well, Madam, I think you listen to the reading of the Constitution as well as our rules, but you did not retain. And you want me to reread for you, I will do it.
Sir.
You're telling me, say, my
Sir,
responsibility.
it is not your
I read
role.
it.
It is not
Hold on, Dr. Richardson, let him finish. Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, you will have your time to respond.
Outside investigating warranty,
Guys,
telling me that
hold
lawmaker
on one
role.
minute. Dr. Richardson, you will have your time to respond to what he said. Give him
No,
chance.
you are not routine. You are not doing your job. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Where in the world? What part in this country that you see? Where in the world do you see?
Representative Koga. Representative Koga.
There's nowhere in the world a lawmaker will be going
Dr.
outside
Richardson, 1 minute.
investigating, going to
Dr. Richardson,
investigating.
Dr. Richardson,
warranty.
1 minute. 1 minute, please. Representative Koga, please be patient. Dr. Richardson, can you please ask the question? When he answer, give him chance to answer, then we'll come back to you. Are you done with your question?
No, I'm not done with this question.
Hold on, Dr. Richardson. After you ask the question, please give him a chance to answer, please.
Yes, I will.
So you go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
And I just want to warn him, do not come on this platform to tell me whether I listen or not. What you explained was your constitution. I asked you a question. I didn't ask you about whether I listen or not. I sat here and listened to you patiently. If you don't know how to respond to my question, you say you don't know it. Where in the world do you see a lawmaker going out to a car dealership to go investigate warranty instead of passing laws to protect dealers from bringing bypass to the country? Where in the world do you go? Where do you see that? And so I'm asking, have you preferred or have you thought about laws that would prevent people from bringing bad parts to the country? And you telling me I didn't listen, I should go read your constitution? You sat here and read. So maybe you can answer my question. My question to you is, what laws are you thinking about? Or have you preferred any laws on the floor to prevent people from bringing in bad parts into the country? So please answer my question, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Thank you. Representative Koga, please.
Well, I think the question is like she trying to instruct me, which I think is not a good approach. Not because you are using the platform that you will subject a lawmaker in that demeaning manner. I respect you with all due respect. You ask me a question, I'm going to answer it in a respectful manner. But for you to have said, don't you think you are behaving like somebody? What you're supposed to do, you're not doing, and the person role is supposed to play, you are doing it. So you're telling me, say, I ought to know better. That is an insult. That's the first thing I want to register. Now, to her question, we have proffered different bills. But what we are discussing, the content in which we are discussing today has to do with what? The issue of Yeke Koloba's allegation. So I'm prepared to respond in that direction where you to ask me related to Yeke Koloba's issue.
Thank you. Mariah?
Sponsor.
I beg you 1 minute, Dr. Richardson. Let's just 1 minute, please. Mariah?
No, I want to stick to the issue. He did not answer my question. He said we
Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson.
Different bills. What are different bills?
Dr. Richardson, we will have to move on. Dr. Richardson, we will have to move on, please. We'll come back to you and you can repeat your question again, please.
For the record, since we documented record on the show, for the record, the Honorable did not answer my question. He said we prefer different bill. And Honorable, I was listening very well. I did not instruct you. I asked you a question. You're not above the law.
Dr. Richardson, it's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mariah, you want to come in? Do you have a question?
I think I have a comment, and maybe
please make your comment.
Will come out of it. I'm struggling to follow the conversation, and for several reasons. So one, I didn't start the show, but I've read the letter, and the Honorable alluded to it, We know for the record that it is within the purview of House committees or Senate committees to cite businesses for several purposes. It could be for high pricing, it could be for violation of standards, it could be for several other things. Even if it's an issue of um, if you say warranty and they believe that the businesses are not meeting the standards for the warranty and is affecting the buyers who are the people they represent, I believe they also have the duty or responsibility to cite these businesses. Um, so I would let the representative speak more to that, but I think that should be clear that the representatives of the people, including the House and the Senate, have that duty and responsibility by their committees to cite businesses to them for purposes that has to do with violations of certain things, or even things that the bad business practices that are affecting the people they represent. And I wanted to say that, right? The second thing I also wanted to say is, and we also see it in Congress. Congress cites pharmaceutical companies all the time,
Very
cite
common.
different
That's
companies
right.
to come and talk about pricing of drugs or standards they're not meeting. Whatever it is, those things happen. And I think as much as we pound on our lawmakers for them not doing the jobs or things that we know they're supposed to be doing that they're not doing, we also got to recognize that that's actually one of the major duties rather than building toilet and clinic and bridges and all of those things. Part of their responsibility is that oversight. The second thing also I want to say
Mara, I
is,
want to just make a point. I don't. You said you came to the show late. The question was not about citing. The
but
question is, excuse me, I was talking. The
yeah,
question
but
is,
I wasn't speaking to your question. I was speaking in
okay.
general. So when I'm done, you
Well,
can
well,
respond.
no, I just wanted to make sure I
Yeah,
wasn't
no, it
questioning
wasn't your
Tyson. I was
question.
actually
It was in
questioning.
general.
He was investigating. He actually went out and took his chief clerk water pump and went more into that. He said all of that before he got here. So that's
Okay.
what I was talking about. So I just
The
wanted to make that clear. I wasn't talking about citing. So I guess you're making a general statement.
Yeah, I was speaking in general to that. And so the second thing I also wanted to say is um the issues of, you know, lawmakers harassing businesses has been something that we've heard before. And for me, like I said to Honorable Koluba yesterday, it will be a good basis to have some kind of hard actual evidence that we can
Correct.
hold them responsible, that we can hold them on. But we have all heard those issues before about lawmakers harassing businesses, going to the stores and all of those things. I'm not going to say that Honorable Koga did or did not. And like he explained, he had gone there because they said he was owing them for some transaction that he had returned to them, and that was a private matter. My difficulty is Honorable Koluba has not been able to give us any concrete or circumstantial evidence that we can go on to say Honorable Koga did take money from these businesses. And now it's become an issue of accusations against accusations. Honorable Koga is saying he's trying to hold these businesses accountable, and Honorable Koluba is protecting them because he said he's been living off of Lebanese people, so he's protecting the business. Honorable Koluba is saying no, he's harassing them and taking money from them. And we cannot stay on the show and play judge and jury. And so that's why I'm struggling with this show tonight, because both accusations against each other, which borders on, of course, integrity, is something that the Liberian people need to take seriously. Honorable Koluba has been over the years correct in some of the things he's revealed. At the same time, Honorable Koga has been a two-term lawmaker, and I don't remember any time of us having situations or reports of him being engaged or involved in these practices or things that we actually talk against when it comes to lawmakers. So for me, like I said, I didn't have a question, I had a comment. And I think if it would just be an issue of either both men being honorable enough to produce the evidence or to say this is what is happening, or we just really don't play judge and jury. But these are issues that we cannot underestimate. If there is actual harassment of businesses that's leading to the closure, that's detrimental to our economy, that's detrimental to our people. And that's something that has to be investigated maybe at a higher level, and it has to stop. At the same time, if we're pinpointing individual lawmakers who are doing those things, they don't have to be able to bring the evidence to say you paid this person this amount of money, this you did this at this point. And I think some of the people who gave him Yeke information should give him more concrete information or circumstantial information that we can actually hold these lawmakers to. So that would be my comment.
You know, Mariah, just what you said, I got folks, and thank you very much, because you spoke both to Honorable Yeke and Honorable Kogar. But to just ask you a question, I want to bring in Honorable Kogar. You heard what you said. Honorable Kogar, is this something you do all the time? Visit businesses out there, their offices, their business side. Do you do that often? We're not hearing you, sir.
No, sir.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear you, Honorable Kogar. Do you visit? Do you visit? Do you go around visit businesses out there, folks out there at the business center, their offices, their location? Like Honorable Koluba saying, you went to the other business area and you spoke to them. Do you do that often?
No, except there is a situation that claims the attention of the citizen that we're supposed to ensure that those citizens' well-being is being secured. Like, for instance, when the red sacker would occur, we decided to go to the red warehouses. That is our fiduciary responsibility to ensure that there should be rights and what are the causes. And then we'll also engage the Ministry of
my
Commerce.
question to you, I understand, because Mariah talking about oversight, Honorable Kogar.
Yeah,
but
what
the
I'm
oversight
saying,
is that you will call them to your committee, you will call them in your house, you will ask them questions at your office or at the Capitol building. But is it part of your oversight for you to go to their offices, go on the premises, the location of business?
Stanton, that's not the question. Don't ask the question that way, Stanton.
B-Monty is a company, money company. And we felt that there was a complaint of bad labor practice, and as well as exploitation of goods allegedly undeclared and etc. We went to the mine. ArcelorMittal, other people have been going to ArcelorMittal. These are oversight responsibility to get account to the people of what is unfolding in those sectors. So, and I said an example just recently, I mean, just now.
Stanton, can I phrase the question another way for you?
Yeah.
Can I phrase the question another way for you?
Go ahead, yeah.
Can I phrase the question another way for you?
Go ahead, please.
Kogar, why most of the business people went to your office, you wrote them, they went to your office, I got a total listing of how many people went there, but why you chose for Auto Spare to not come to your office, but you chose to go to their office?
I'm not getting him. I'm not getting him, please. I'm not getting you.
Senator Hebin.
Timothy, can you have that?
I'm glad you said that they went to the office. You don't say they went to my house. My office is the official seat where in my capacity I invite people.
I agree.
So
that's
what
not
are you
the question.
Saying? You're not taking to my farm.
That's not the
but
question.
he's asking it's okay for them to come to your office. That's fine. And I think that's part of your oversight.
Yeah.
But why are you visiting them?
No, why you chose to go to that particular Auto Spare office?
Yeah, I'm not even going to restrict it to even one. I'm going to restrict it to all of them.
Stanton, that's not my question. That's not my question.
You say?
My question is why he wrote those people, and most of the people, like 20% of the people went to his office, but why he chose for Auto Spare to not come to his office, but instead he went to Auto Spare service station on Ronald Street.
That's not true. You see, these are things that I'm saying. Nadine, the CEO for the company, came to my office. He appeared and he promised to bring documents. He brought some of the documents as I speak. The witnesses are there.
Honorable Koka, let's try to move on. We got a lot to discuss. Do you go there as an? Do you visit? Listen, let me ask you this. You speak. I beg you. You go there as an individual, or you go there in a group of representatives? You're asking the question. You go alone, or you go with other representatives?
Now, one man committee. Like the defense committee. Jimmy Smith and one man committee.
Please tell him to do it. Could you please tell him to be due to get?
Yeah. He gave you the chance to speak. Talk to
many
us, please.
people tonight having sleepless night listening on our voice. So he got to be courteous and give me a chance when I'm talking. When it comes to individual visitation, where I go buy things on my own, I don't think I'm supposed to be restricted. But where you are discharging the duty as a committee, the committee members will follow to go, and the company will be rating officially that we're going to visit your facility based on XYZ information. That's a procedure. But ordinarily, if I found that there is a barber shop or let's say a store where they have cell phone and I want to buy a phone, are you telling me that I should not go? It don't make sense.
Thank you very much.
So
guys, you got any question? The panelists, we gotta go. We gotta wrap this up.
It's now 2 persons from when Nadine came said I was tennis was passing. So how were you? I was Yeke said what kind of thing? I'm very much disappointed in Yeke.
I'm going to write a complaint against you. You accuse me. You did not allege. You say I'm fronting for people that duping the Lebron post. So I will also
All right, guys, we got other discussion coming up, guys.
Let me ask
you said it.
We got other discussion coming up. We gotta go.
Can you highlight answerability?
Yeah, I will. I asked Ben or somebody to call him. But guys,
can you highlight his comments? So Yeke can read that comment of answer.
Oh, that's the only comment you want to read. You're talking seriously about committee. Comment. When you went to how many questions? When were you on the committee?
Okay, guys, listen, Honorable Yeke Koluba, we want to say thank you. Honorable Koga. Say what? What you say? Yeah, what did you say? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. In order to get clear, because he's saying that I'm malicing his character. The recording he had yesterday, where he said that when Taylor left, he had been living on the Lebanese.
So what happened to character?
When you read,
he said it yesterday. Honorable Koga, he said it yesterday.
Yeah.
I said it. He said that wrong.
So you say I'm fronting for them. You say I'm fronting for them. That's an allegation.
So, guys, let me ask you guys a question. We are making. Hold on 1 minute. I beg you. Honorable Koluba, Honorable Yeke Koluba, Honorable Koga. We want to say thank you. We got to move to another conversation, and I think you guys will help us because you guys are representatives.
So it means that you can't do me.
No, you're not leaving. Honorable Koga, you're not leaving. Honorable Koga, you are not leaving. You are still on the show.
I demand apology from him. That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah. You guys will do that. You guys will do that Tuesday. Y'all will do that Tuesday on the floor when you go back.
No,
but Honorable Koga, at the end of the show,
you use the platform.
Honorable Koga. At the end of the show, we are not done yet. Sam, we are not done yet. We are not done with the program. We will be discussing. We will come to that. I can guarantee you. Just pause for a minute. It's very important yesterday. For us to raise this issue. Garrison have just endorsed Mr. Comey. Honorable Koga, you will enjoy this one, please. And I know you know Representative Garrison.
My sister. Look, you my sister. There's a place that we discuss the issue. So I'm pushing my point through. Don't tie your face, okay?
I'm not tired of you. You owe me an apology. You started by quoting your constitution. You finished quoting your constitution. You went on to talk about car business. I want you to put law on the floor that will prevent people from bringing back parts to the people. So I'm not trying to. Before you leave your apology, I'm not listening. Because you know you said.
Honorable Sam Koga, I want to ask you this question. Representative Garrison. I think that's his name. Let me ask you, and the guys will come in. He was with PUP, UP, whatever P he was. He just flipped over to Mr. Cummings. He endorsed Mr. Cummings. The ANC people saying, no, I'm bad. Whatever P, they got a lot of P out there. So the ANC saying that that's a big, big fish they have caught. They are saying he's not a Baple. He's a Kuta. He's not even a Boni. He's not even a Tarapia. He's Kuta. How big is this endorsement for Mr. Cummings? And I want us to stick on Mr. Cummings, and it's good to have Yeke and you on the show tonight. How big is Garrison endorsement?
Well, in the Nima Bullet Party, Garrison is a force on grounds that Garrison campaigned within 2 weeks and he secured 16,000 votes in Nima.
Wow.
That is a number that you cannot underestimate. 2 weeks campaign, and he didn't have funnies. I serve as campaign manager, I serve as chairman of the party, everything. He and I were moving from village to village. And in only 2 weeks, Garrity secured 16,000 votes. And he's likable. I must admit, he's likable. Yeah. Man, I ask a question, go on.
Santa, you run away?
But
You got the answer you're looking for?
No, I'm here because what happened, I want us to stick to Garrison. Let me give you guys
what I said.
I said question, please.
It's a force. Pardon?
Kev, go ahead. The Garrison question.
Well, I said Garrison is from the People's Unification Party. He's a co-chair on legal affairs. And he contested 2020 May 10th senatorial election. May 10th senatorial election. And he came third.
So I want to ask you, which district Garrison from? Which district?
He's from district number 4. District number 4. His mother from district number 3. And his father from district number 4. And I who serve as campaign manager from district number 5.
So which district are you from?
5, district number 5, I said.
So the reason I'm asking, I'm getting messages here today that you will be endorsing Mr. Cummings. Have they approached you?
Oh,
is it true?
Really, Santa?
No. I gotta ask my question. I'm entitled to my question. I'm entitled to my question.
So we have it.
My question.
Hello. Similar question or similar information about filtering. The first thing people said was PUP had to go to CDC. And I said it was a news to me because as a chairman who negotiates on behalf of the party, that would be in the know of any arrangement or such. Though they started a conversation with us, I must admit, and the conversation ended in dialogue.
Breaking news.
And a recent comments people had approached us, but we are not have any formal discussion, I must admit to you. We haven't had any formal discussion because in the first place, why it is true that I'm a chairman of the
endorsement, Mr. Koga. Have they reached out to you to endorse Mr. Cummings?
They said no. The approach was they wanted us to work together. That was generally what they said. I said, well, when you're working together, we want to see the reality. And besides that, for me to even negotiate or to open such a dialogue or conversation, I must consult the governing council of the party and the executive member of our party, telling them that I have been approached by this political party, and therefore we need to do XYZ. So it's a news. We are not make commitment to any political party to say we are supporting you. I must admit to you.
So, but we can confirm from you that they have reached out to you guys.
We reach out to everybody.
We can confirm. Right, let me have a 1-2 question, yeah. Because
we reach out to everybody.
You know the thing. You've been sitting on this show all day long. You tell us.
But just tell you.
Who that?
Go ahead.
Well,
So
you know,
there where we are, and
that was my question. But let me ask you now: how far the discussion, and will you be going to the ANC?
You scared, Kev?
you said,
How far
you
is the
said,
discussion, and will you be going to the ANC?
oh, it just been a proposition. Yeah, not been, it's a proposition. They just acquainted or would like for all to work together. What you think? But there have been no,
Man,
concrete or
Musa has
tangible
stability.
negotiation.
This guy, that one guy.
Exactly.
Where we invite other partisans of ours to sit on the round table to discuss, they are not happy. I must admit.
Will you be going over to the ANC?
Kev, you scared?
You
Will
said
you be going over to the ANC?
it depends on the executive member decision. It lies in the hands of the executive and the governing council of the party.
If it left with you, will you go over to the ANC? If it left with you, will you join the ANC? You as an individual, without your party, you as an individual, personally, yes.
Personally, if you ask me as
Honorable,
not as chairman of the party, but as Samuel Koga, representative of District Number 5, I would suggest, or I would prefer, to wait for the runoff before I make any decision. I'm talking about
Yeah, you personally.
But as a party, it's a decision. The decision lies in the majority hands.
So if the majority say you should endorse Mr. Cummings, you have no problem with that?
You say?
If the majority say you should endorse Mr. Cummings, you have no problem with that? You will follow?
Anyone, if they say today we endorse Cummings, we endorse we endorse Boakai, I will accept it. Minority had a saying, majority had a will. So once the majority consent, who am I?
So where are you guys heading to? Where are you guys
No,
heading?
make after that sleep
Where are you guys
now.
heading?
We are preparing our legislator. We are preparing our legislator to have more seats in the house. That's our primary focus.
To have more seats in the house, but so
yeah, of course.
Where are you? So with the ANC, make you guys to have more seats in the house? With the ANC in that position?
Why would you emphasize always on ANC?
Exactly.
Why
you mean the CPP?
You know why? You know why? Because the ANC are the new Fanti people in town now. They are the new fishermen. You know, they are new Fanti people in town. So they're fishing.
Bobby, your net here. Squeezing net here. Squeezing net here. Kev?
The process.
No, I don't think I have one.
You don't have question on them joining the ANC or CPP?
Well, everybody have answered the question. They said that they reach out. He said that he's waiting for his party. I got no other question to ask on that.
So. Thank you. Sentimony, George?
Yes, sir.
For me, like I said, I mean, that's politics, you know. I said on this show that the next few days, all these, what's happening is not strange in our Liberian politics. You have people cross-carpeting and making endorsements, crossing carpet and joining parties. End of the day, we got more to see. We'll hear more of this. All we're hearing today, we'll hear more of it coming up. So it's not strange to me. For me, not strange. I know we'll hear more. So they are talking. Politics is all about, and you know.
You're right. You've been saying it for a very long time, Toman and George. Dr. Richardson, do you have a question?
I don't have any further questions. We can move on to another topic.
Thank you, Yeke. You want to say something about Garrison or Honorable Koga pre-endorsement on Mr. Cummings?
Can I go ahead now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Why I don't know why. I
don't know why. When Kev wake up in the morning, by the time he wake up, ANC. When Kev sleeping, ANC. He left Kevin got nothing to concentrate on now. But Stanton, let me ask you a question. Because you, Stanton, got ambition. That's why you see you doing things in the bureau. You get ready. You send me 100 bag the last time. You send me support 100. What are you doing? Are you not fishing?
What are you talking about?
No. I just asked you a question.
He's saying you're very low.
No, ask my brother-in-law.
But
Hey, I want to be fair on the show.
question.
Yeah, that'd be fair.
Are not fair?
You're not fair. You asked me for 500.
Okay, I take it back.
You asked me for 500. I said I got 500. Then you first.
I got two brother-in-law on the show. I got Honorable Koga, my senior brother-in-law. I mean my father-in-law, and I get you on the show. But you will still get my 500. I got my confirmation from my DV today. I sent it to you and did it tell you.
It's true. You can play DV today. It's true. They're saying his confirmation.
Yeah.
But that's not what we are discussing here because the American
Look,
people don't want you to come to America.
Honorable Yelu is a fine gentleman. I don't care what you do. Honorable Yelu got stake in Nema County. Not only Nema County. With the people of Nema County and other counties. So the name Honorable Yelu can make anybody afraid. My father-in-law Cook, I will tell you that Honorable Yelu is a household name when it comes to Nema County. So you see, when you go into fishing, you try to catch a buga. That's the way CDC doing. When they go, they catch a buga. You're not catching nothing, but when you start catching the gripper, the big gripper, then you see the sedition getting afraid. And look, the opposition is getting ready to give Ambassador Weah a 1 term.
Okay.
And what happened?
Okay, let me ask another question. Mariah, you want to say something on this since we're talking about CPP and Garrison?
I have nothing to say. I said what I had to say yesterday.
All right, let me ask you, Honorable Koga, thank you for helping our discussion tonight. Let's talk about Daniel Che. A lot of video been moving up here and there. Daniel Che number 4 on Mr. Cummings, on Team Cummings. Okay, and I think I'm ready. On a very serious note, we have to listen to you. Was it a good decision by Mr. Cummings or his advisor to include former Defense Minister Daniel Che as on the Team Cummings list? Honorable Koga.
You see, the issue of appointment is a choice. There where intuitive, rational approach come in. Who you feel that you are comfortable with, that you can work with, you can appoint the person. But the public are the judges. They will determine whether the person got good character or not. To vote, this is the reason why doing campaign time you wear a t-shirt with your picture. You tell the people, say, oh, I'm a good man. You say, but the man, I saw him the last time you were beating on the market or that road. It left for the citizen to decide whether they will vote for the role. But basically, the issue of ministers, how do you call him? Daniel Che, from the Taylor regime up to now, I haven't heard anything that he involved with the others. He had contested twice, so he never won. And during the elections, I don't hear any negative thing about him. He's a citizen of the country. And Mr. Cummings feels that he has some level of command or respect in the community, therefore he should be part of a team. So I don't want us, because anybody can take anybody to be somebody. Maybe he went on his own at the time, he was not popular, or he was not opportune. Who knows? This time around, saying he went on the other side, he may be unfortunate. So that's how life goes. But the characteristic of a person is what matters. It's what matters. Does he have any criminal charges against him in the republic? If you ask me quite frankly from a fair analysis, in those 3 personalities, like let's say, I would say 4, but meaning 3 personalities that are forerunner in the election, they all have plus and then they have minuses. 1, Ambassador Weah has some he had popularity. He's a soft gentleman.
Before.
But those surrounding him, those surrounding him are not guarding him properly. So as a result, his leadership will not shine. But he's a soft gentleman who has passion for people. I must admit. Then Ambassador Buckeye, he's likable, whether you like it or not, with money or not. But he's slow in decision making. And the contemporary politics we find ourselves in now, you got to be proactive in decision making. Then when it comes to Cummings is an organizer. He's proactive when it comes to intellectual administrative skill. He has the administrative skill. He come up with projects and different things that show some of leadership. But he's not likable in the Liberian community. So he needs to work on
I
that.
disagree with you.
Excuse me. You need to work on that.
But
he's a
yeah,
very
hold on
smart
1 minute.
man.
Let him finish. We'll come to you.
Again, now let's say you want to give me.
Go ahead, Honorable.
If you check Cummings' popularity, majority is in the intellectual class. The indigenous, they are not touched the indigenous. He need to avail himself for them to know him. When we talk about best lawyers, you talk about business entrepreneur, he got all those qualifications. He got it. I must admit to you. So his office, the team is very organized. But that's a shortcoming of Cummings. He got to go in the interior to be known. Then
and I think the rest of the guys have to come in on this one. Oh yeah, Honorable Koga, we'll talk about Bwaka and President Weah later. I want us to stick on Mr. Cummings because on Sunday there's a gentleman that ran the clip about Daniel Che. I asked a question on there. Let's give the other guys chance. If they don't have question, if no one else want to ask question on this Daniel Che, then we'll move on Bwaka and Weah.
Okay.
Because the thing about Daniel Che, is about the video that is out there, whether the decision to include him on Team Cummings was a proper one for CPP.
So can I come in?
You see,
well, one second. Let us address this very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Koga. Yes, sir.
Huh? I should go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. You see, the essence of a leader who represents you as a president of a state will possess all the qualities, attributes. Cummings has that. Wakai has that. You say what you see from Cummings. Cummings has that. Internationally, he connected. And nobody can be president of a country when you are not internationally entrenched. You must be able to lobby in the region. You must be able to partner with regional leaders. You must reach across the United States of America. And you should have rapport. Then you will be able to showcase your people plot. He has that pedigree. I must admit to you. He has it. He only qualified. With financial standpoint, I don't know. So I don't know. I don't discuss. People say Cummings have money, but I don't know. But what I saw in him, that's what I'm telling you. Cummings is one of those when the president gave nationwide address, he immediately will cut the laws and sort out the points, and then he recommend to the government right away. That is a very good approach. But he needs to work with the indigenous in the interior. If he does that, perfect for him. That's the only thing I see so far on Cummings. I must admit to you, sincerely speaking, these guys who forgot about Ryan pickup, luxury cars in the city, writing BBT on the CPP, this, that, and get in the interior. Talk to the rubber tapper. Talk to the pound one seller. I'm telling you a living story. If he does that, then at least he will work out modality for himself.
Thank you. I'm not going to push you, but thank you very much.
That's my analysis.
No, Thank you. And I respect that. Kev? Yeah. But why you want to go after Kev, please?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, Yake, I wanted to say something, so maybe.
Oh, Yake. Sorry. You're right. Yake, come on. Let me go ahead. Yake.
Thank you.
You already let me go. LD asked me. That's a way. Go ahead.
No, on serious note, fine, I agree with you. The only place I don't agree with you is everybody being loved by the Liberian people. Because everybody took part in election and they got vote. That means you're being loved by the Liberian people. That way I disagree with you. But when it comes to the Daniel Chair issue, Stanton, what do you want to achieve with the Daniel Chair issue? Have Daniel Chair been indicted before? Have he been charged before for anything? Daniel Chair did not fight war. Daniel Chair's job was to be in the car. We were on the front line. You don't know Daniel Chair than me. We were on the front line. Daniel Chair's job was to be in the pickup, passing around. You know, when we're causing trouble, when we come from the front line, we're causing trouble, Daniel Chair then be arrested. So nobody can point out something to hold gun in the street to say defense minister hold gun. Defense minister control the defense ministry. You know how many ministers in Ambassador where government carry gun that can be going live. I remember one time I saw the transport minister to Vamoma here. He had a pistol showing. I remember one time I saw Eugene Namwe to Fresh Bake. He had a pistol showing. You understand what I'm saying? So to hold going, not an issue. We fought the war. That's what we're saying. Let the war economic code come. So we can be able to exonerate ourselves. But people are saying, no. Why you want to indict people right now and they are not being indicted before, but even the TRC? What Daniel Chair sent for by the TRC? Was I sent for by the TRC? No. He have not been indicted in any form. You understand what I'm saying? Look, when one look at things that the international community looking at, not take for example, when the guy died, Jerome Mosquito from Freetown, she are going to testify in the war in the war court in Freetown. Who talked about it? It was alleged that it was Eugene Namela took his body to the funeral home. The tape is all around. So who got more grave a problem than people that be ambassador we are, than people that come into comments? Everybody got the right to associate or disassociate. So Ombokumen got a right to say for who he want to say for. If it make people vex, let it bring the war economic crime code. Let us be indicted. But until we can do that, he need to associate.
Okay.
Because I fought war, so Ombokumen will not associate with me.
So you are making your points you are making is fair, Honorable Koruba, to tell you the truth. And that's why we're gonna have this conversation. It can be Daniel Chair, and it can be whoever, Prince Johnson, or whosoever work on a theater. Louis Brown, Toga McIntosh, Jacob Koluba, anyone. But let's have this conversation and let's lay it to rest, and the Liberian people will decide. I like your argument that you came back on from CDC. Kev Hassan, before we do the play with the Kev Hassan thing, this is one of the clips that was played by, I think, Pape Flomo. Is that Pape Flomo, Kev? That play this.
Before you play the tape, let me say something that you
Kev playing all on social media. Say Kev.
Then you play the tape. One thing I want Honorable Koga, because you said you don't know whether he took part in the war or this, but Yeke Koluba, who actually fought the war, explained. He said he was there. Would they go and cause trouble? He would be there and whatever thing they do. So he took part. The problem is the message from the political leader from the ANC. Contrary, we're going to play the video that I gathered from
Kev, can I ask you a question?
So we're going to play the video. You will make the Liberian people will make the judgment.
Kev, can I ask you a question?
And see if this is what Mr. Cummings were talking about.
Kev, can I ask you a question?
Over and over, expect a different result. So
Kev, can I ask you a question, Kev?
We want to play it so people can see if that match with Mr. Cummings' message.
Can I ask you a question, Kev?
I beg you, Honorable Koluba. You will come in like Honorable.
I just want to ask you one question, please.
So I beg you, Honorable Koluba, let's do this. Because you know why? Like we beat on former Information Minister Louis Brown. That's to his arrest. People beat
why you gonna beat him on Fale or general that fought for Model? That is a
But Honorable
superintendent.
Koluba, you will have your term.
No, but why you put that beating on Kasfale?
Honorable Koluba, you are
Why
making
would
a
the
fair
ANC or
statement.
the opposition?
Honorable Koluba, you will have your term. Be patient, please.
Okay.
You are always welcome
Yes,
on
I
the
can call
show.
him.
You are always welcome on the show, and I like when you join us. So trust me, you will come back to throw your thing.
No problem.
But it has gotten to a point right now where this government and its people can no longer.
I'm going to play the rest of the clip, how many they are, and let Labyrinth decide on their own. If you want to comment, if you have question, we want you to comment. We want you to ask question. Honorable Koga, Honorable Koluba, my frustration here, I will let the Labyrinth people know. With respect to Mr. Cummings and his decision, is that what Mr. Cummings will represent? And at the end of the program, is that what he representing now? Did he make the right choice to bring in Daniel Che? I have never met him. I don't know him. All respect to him. He ran in Buchanan. Yombi Kanga with him 2013. But my issue is that the new Mr. Cummings? When the gentleman has served as defense minister, coming to say, death before dishonor, no retreat, no surrender, chanting the rebel slogan. You can defend him, you can argue, but that's my own personal issue I have with such a decision by Tim Cummings, by Mr. Cummings. So I rest my case. I will play the second clip. Kev, you are speaking. Dr. Peabody, St. Timothy George, Yeke, and Yakula, Dr. Francine. I will give you guys a chance to speak. You have anything to add, Kev? Then we'll move to Anthony Yakula.
Yeah, so the reason we're playing the tip, I personally, send the tip to for Spoon to play because of the message. You remember the Cummings letter where he accused, and folks, he accused the president. He used the word. They say, "Mr. President, people died too. People died." He going against all those things on something that he cannot prove. There's no single evidence, but there's evidence now to show a man within the Cummings team. We are not talking about somebody who endorsed Cummings or somewhere. We are talking about somebody who Mr. Cummings handpicked and say, "You my guy. You the face of the ANC. You the face of my party." And if you handpick somebody that contrary to your message, especially going out to the international community and telling people that a member of the executive branch who contacting warlord to threaten political rivals, when you're making all the evidence out there to the international community and come back home and pick such a man, that's what we are talking. People will say, "Oh, preachers say all this," but we are talking that this is contrary to Mr. Cummings' message. If Mr. Cummings were not going out there and pressurizing people like Prince Johnson, like everybody, all the other people who took part in the war, we'll say, okay, but he pressurizing people. He going to the international community and telling people in the international community, those people should be wiped out of the face of Liberia. They should not take part. Then you come back and get the character like.
So Prince Johnson should be wiped out of the field of Liberia.
That's a Peabody. Y'all would allow Kev to speak, please, and y'all would come in. Y'all coming in next.
That's what we are talking.
Anthony
we are
Yakula, you are coming in next. Please,
the hypocrisy in high places. The hypocrisy in high places. You cannot be saying to the international world, telling them, oh, Liberia cannot be doing the same thing over and over and expect different result. But you come in. Then the other day, Mr. Cummings have the audacity to say, we're going to meet them there, and they will bring them, and they will change them. So when you endorse Mr. Cummings, or if you part of Mr. Cummings' team, whatever crime you committed in Liberia, it will be wiped away. But if you don't, then you will be subject to sanction.
Thank you, Kev.
That's what we are talking about.
Kev, we gotta move on. It's 6:07. Real quick.
He went to Prince Johnson. He asked Prince Johnson for his endorsement. Prince Johnson refused. What happened? He went out there and pushed for the sanction of Prince Johnson.
That's a lie, Kev.
And the post
That's a
office.
lie.
And the
Why you
post
pushing
office.
that narrative?
And he also said there's a Burkina Faso people in Grand Gilead. You understand? Inciting people against the Grand Gilead that they do have. He buttressed a tip that the international people, the international.
Okay, Kev, let's give the other folks the chance to speak, and we'll come back because I'm going to play only 3 or 4 of this clip. There are many, but I cannot play them.
Play the clips and let's talk about it because it's a waste of time to keep talk about. Play all the tips.
No, go ahead. After this,
No, play the tips. Don't talk about it because are the tips different? Is it not about next year?
It's about that, but after you speak, I will play the rest of them.
No, I will speak when you play all the tips because I'll not speak and you play tip. I come out, speak. I come out. Play all the tips. Let's see what's different.
Okay, listen, Peabody, you want to speak?
I think the first play of that tape is very graphic. I don't think it's something that we should have shown here on our show.
It's not very graphic, though.
So
it's not that graphic.
If it's not, then that play the one with Doe being orchestrated. That played that one.
No. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Oh, the one with Prince Johnson cutting Doe ear.
No. I'm not saying the one with Prince Johnson. I'm saying this one that we're playing. Right? It's not graphic. Trust me.
It is. It's an issue of the war. You have people running down the streets with guns in their hands. There are people who went through that process. I know
you're reminding the people about the war days.
You reminding Liberians of what they went through.
So Mariah, I thought you said you're not speaking that we play all.
No, but I want you to play all.
Mariah, you say you're not speaking that we play all,
you
right?
won't play tips on the wall, play all of it.
Mariah Yakula, you say we're not speaking till you play it all. So wait now, let me ask the other people.
So play. I think everybody wants you to play the tips.
No, it's not everybody. Everybody is not a good way to put it.
Well, let me
make a suggestion. That's the people that you want to finish up.
Let me finish up.
Finish up.
Look, I want those who believe in the war and economic crime court here for Liberia, but also, was Daniel Chair ever convicted by the TRC?
Never.
On every political party, every party now that is contesting for the 2023 election, they have some kind of war law or somebody who has something to do in the war that are part of it.
Plenty.
I can name
you gotta get a chance now. Let the man talk, brother.
I can name a lot of them. When it comes, some of them who have even been convicted of war crime. Been placed on sanction and convicted by the TRC. A lot of them, they are still there in government. They are still there holding key position in the government. So for us to just attribute that to one political party, I think this is a disservice that Kev is saying here, because we got one of the biggest warlords that support Kev party. We know that. Everybody knows around the world. That's somebody that I personally saw committing atrocity in the country. So if we are coming up and bringing these kind of thing up, I think it's not fair, because one, the Civil War, when you see those kind of video, it brings back memories. As a young man grew up in the war and seeing people what all transpired in the war, I think we shouldn't. That is too graphic.
So you are forgetting the question that to Peabody.
So let me
Mariah, we'll come back to you now. I beg you, Mama. A little bit, you are forgetting the question that to Peabody. The question was, and I asked Honorable Koga, is this the new Cummings? Is this the new Cummings? I'm asking, bringing Donald Che to Team Cummings, was it a good decision by Mr. Cummings?
Well,
we understand that. Well, let's go back to the question. We understand we all went through the war. We know Prince Johnson killed Doe. It's on tape. But the fact remains is that you condemn Prince Johnson. And let's set the record straight. I will say this to everyone on the show tonight. TRC requested Donald Che to testify. Donald Che requested that he won't testify beyond closed door. It's on paper. Do your research on Donald Che.
So why did he come?
I
Why did he
spoke
come?
with folks
Why did he
that
come?
were on the commission of TRC. Donald Che demanded that he would testify beyond closed door. So let's get that straight. So I would say to you, Dr. Peabody, the issue remains, was it a good decision for Mr. Cummings to bring the face, such as Donald Che, to Tim Cummings? That's all my question.
Yeah, but
Sintomali, Dr. Richardson, then we'll go to Mariah.
I don't think we should.
You want to talk now, Mariah?
Yeah, since you're not playing the tip, let me talk.
I will play the tip, but you want to talk now?
But that's the problem. So if we're talking, then you play tip, then we'll come out on tip, then you play tip, come out on tip.
So you want to speak now, or you
Is that
want
how
to wait?
you want? Is that how you?
May I
want
come
to
in,
do.
please?
So then.
Okay,
go
you
ahead,
know what I would
Honorable
do? You know what I would do? Let me satisfy.
May I come in?
Let me.
After,
yes, sir. You'll come in, but after you
Koga,
speak,
Prince Johnny say know your heart. Koga.
After you speak,
Prince Johnny say know your heart.
After you speak, Mr. Koga, I will play the rest of the clip. All right. Then we'll have this conversation to take us home. So, Honorable Koga, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you see, if we happen to say we should root out all those that took part in the civil crisis in Liberia, you will not have a leader in Liberia. But those who were involved in atrocity, committing crime against humanity, are the target. So my question is, do you have any record on Donald Che that breached the Geneva Convention? Well, these are things that we need to look at. If that is known and is established, and then Mr. Cummings decided to keep him on board with that character, then it's intentional. The president of the Republic of Liberia had appointed some people that allegedly had tainted character. Because of the public outcry, he withdrew his nomination. So the decision of appointing somebody is individual, but the ability to accept the individual is the constituents. The Liberian people are the one that will make the determination whether Donald Che is a good guy. I think it should be advantageous to you or whosoever that may be opposition to Cummings, that Cummings had brought in somebody who committed a crime, so and the citizen will say, well, because you should not vote for him.
Finish.
So for me, if any of those names involved in any idea, we need to expose them. If Cummings decide to shield it and keep them, then we'll have problem with them. So that might make on the issue.
Can I come in?
Because if you want, if you read
no,
now,
you gotta come in now because we guess.
No, but you already talked.
Your guest panelist, you can move from here.
No, but please let me talk.
Let me come in, man.
Please let me talk.
But that Honorable Koga finish now. Honorable Koga making some very
go ahead.
Let me tell you, those are voting now. Majority for the war. Even the people that are choosing leader. So are we saying that the quality of voting high is not good? But if we single out an individual that will have material evidence against to prove beyond reasonable doubt, a Cummings see reason to play blind eye, then the Liberian people will judge him by a decision. For me, now I look at the whole thing. So we need to force
and you know
ahead.
what? If just on that point, Honorable Koga, before Sintomani come in, we would bring in other documentation when you talk about the recommendation that was made. Some of those recommendations had Daniel Che name on it. I like what Mr. Comey said when he was in Canada. He said that if we have anything to show Donald Che X, Y, and Z, then we will step in to do what we have to do. I'm just paraphrasing. Somebody can correct me, but he said something in that respect. And I want to say this though: if you see of defense minister, former participant in the war, directly or indirectly, chanting "Death before dishonor, death before dishonor, no retreat, no surrender." Folks that were around here, they wasn't in AFL uniform. Those people that were in the regular rebel activities attire, fatigue, and those are the things. I'm asking the question, and I'll ask the question again: is that the new face of Mr. Comey? Come as you are, come everyone. Sintomani George.
You know, during the 2017 elections, most of the people that voted for the CDC and President Weah were the people that I saw around. You showed just on that video around Mr. Chair, and I don't know, but I don't know what the intent for my brother, but is you promoting the Cummings campaign by you telling the people to play that tape, because the very people see themselves in with the people around him. They're gonna say, but the people welcome us, they're gonna run to them. So they're gonna you elevating him and promoting him, making him popular with the people. But people watching the show. Moreover, when Donald J was in that form, he was defense minister for elected Liberian government. So if today the government come on the attack, you will see Zanga with the forces on the front. He will not be saying I say no. So he will be promoting the boys around him, the army. So Donald J was not in a capacity as a rebel. He was there as a Liberian defense minister elected by the people of Liberia in 1997.
Can I ask you a question, Sintomani George?
Yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me interrupt you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a straight up question. I know the answer. I want to see whether you read it and know Daniel Che. Prior to becoming defense minister, was Daniel Che part of NPFL?
Yeah, he was in NPFL.
How? What was his participation? Did he fight war?
I mean, I didn't see on the front.
You didn't see on the front because he wasn't on the front.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about him being on the front.
You didn't get anything that, how was he part of NPFL? How?
Like other people part of NPFL today that is in government around everywhere. They were
How?
all,
Don't let other people explain
but
what you
I
know.
said,
How well with NPFL? Why you can't ask me?
My Donald J. First of all, he's a former U.S. military man. He went to Liberia. He joined the NPFL. They were there going to peace talk, doing negotiation. I follow the Liberian war now. When they had peace talks, Taylor using him for one of those to be one of those advisors to negotiate with the peace talks. So he played his role.
Okay, thank you, Timothy.
Let me finish.
Finish
Yeah.
up.
So
you think you're gonna be a defense? No, let Timothy finish up, Cam. Let finish.
But I've not heard Mr. Cummings say that nobody who fought in a government or fought war, I will bring down my campaign. I will not bring down my campaign. I mean, I want to maybe produce that document.
He said it in Canada.
Well,
yeah.
No, I think you misrepresented. You what he said.
That's okay. Let's go to that.
Yeah, let me just end now. Okay.
Yeah, finish.
So as in a role, I saw him play a role as a defense minister for elected Liberian government, and I think by you bringing out that video cap, you promoting him, you carry the guys on the solo. That way you can go. And these people that be voting to the right.
I disagree with you, Timothy.
Yeah,
but we can all disagree
my
with you,
opinion now. So me as president, so that I will be going to the polls to vote, and just to end too. So we understand that if you say coming and nominate people for government position, we have issue. You can raise the issue, but for the campaign, you want to win an election, you need everybody. And Representative Coker, I think your assessment about the candidates was on point. You're very objective. I think I admire that. You're very objective for it. And lastly, this man, Garrison Yellow, say you should organize, you want to appear. I think I saw it comment. Say you want to come.
You said what?
Garrison Yellow, the guy we're talking about.
You want to appear? Okay, I know you're going to reach out to him and you're going to bring him to money. Dr. Richardson, right after Dr. Richardson, you're going to come on, yeah? Dr. Richardson?
We've been talking about the list, and you heard from the people who developed the list that their objective was to have diversity on the list, to include many Liberians and to follow the message that they want Liberia, the 10, Mr. Cummings 10 is a big 10, and they want to be inclusive of all Liberians. And so I don't know what message Kev is talking about in terms of he said that it's contrary to Mr. Cummings' message, but the message that I often hear him say is we have a big tent. We want to be inclusive of all Liberians. And recently I heard him talk about not making somebody guilty by association. He wants people to have the right to be processed for wrongdoing or any crime they committed. So as far as we know that Mr. Chair has not committed any crime, as everybody has said, um, and so he should face the law. Mr. Cummings did say he should face the law. Anybody should face the law if they have committed a crime. Now I understand why other people might be concerned about this. For some people, this list might evoke trauma for them. Just hearing these names, these people on the list, it might evoke trauma for them. So I can understand that. But I think it's important also for us to hear for the from the people who created the list. Maybe someday we'll hear from them. Well, the reasoning behind it, I'm sure they have some kind of methodical reason why they created this list. Maybe they can expand on the Big Ten idea.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Anthony Yakula.
So first, let me say, Honorable Koga, thank you for your analysis. It's all taken in good faith. In fact, I tend to agree with you mostly on some parts and like Yeke, disagree on some parts, especially about the likability. But the issue of the indigenous is something that of course has to be worked on and is being worked on. Mr. Cummings, as you may or may not know, is the only candidate so far who visited all 15 counties since 2017, and try to go back to the people to thank them for their support and to also continue to stay engaged with them. And these things don't happen overnight, so there's a lot of work being done with that. But I also want to say on the issue of the likability, we've elected people who we liked, but did they like us? I mean, Josh Weah is somebody that the entire country likes. He's a celebrity, but does he like us? I don't think we should be electing our leaders because we like them. It should be because of what they can do for us. Liking somebody can put food on your table. Liking someone can, help your financial situation, can provide jobs for you. Likability, it's not or should not be the basis on which we choose our leaders. When you're sick and you go to the hospital, you can let a doctor before he give you injection or treat you. Nobody goes to the hospital and say, "Oh, I let a doctor and the doctor come in the room to treat you." Then you say, "No, I let a doctor. I want the treatment right now. The country is sick, and we need someone who will provide, the treatment that we need to move forward." And so we don't have to like the person if we know they can get the job done, and we know Mr. Cummings can get the job done. But at the same time, it also is important that the people get to know their leader, that the people get to engage with the leader, that the people get to see and be with the leader. And that's some of the things that we're working on. But I just, always want us to think outside of the popularity and the likability and say, oh, yes, this person's likable, but can they do the job? And I think that's important. But I want to talk about the Daniel Che issue. Um, I don't even know when this comedy is going to end because basically what's happening here is, and maybe I'll talk about it at the end, but as Tomali and Yake has said, I've said, Mr. Chie was the defense minister. And interestingly, I never knew him, having met him before then. And I met him recently and found out that he also graduated from Wayne State University. And so we call each other alumni. But I don't know him personally as a person, and I don't need to know him to know that he was defense minister under the times that Stanton and Kev wants to talk about. And Tomalin struck a good point. If today Liberia was attacked by rebels, Zankan, who's now the defense minister, will be on the front lines with his soldiers. And what the video showed, that's why I said let's show all of the videos before we have the conversation. But from what we saw a defense minister on the front lines encouraging his people to defend the state against the very rebels that Joshua is alleged to have supported to bring war to this country. But Kev would not want to talk about that that this man was defending the state against the rebels that we are supported to come and attack the country, but he wants to sit and talk about someone who was performing the duties as defense minister. Why are we going on and on about this thing that's clearly become a common issue? This is not even about Mr. Chie. It's not. This is about Mr. Cummings and the CDC's propaganda to paint Mr. Cummings as this person that they want to paint him like we are. He's not we are. Cummings and we are night and day. Let's be clear about it. It is night and day. And this thing you keep saying about messaging from Mr. Cummings, what has Mr. Cummings' message been? To change the system, not to exclude people, not to discriminate against people, not to ostracize people as we've continued to do. That's what we've been doing over and over. Ostracizing people, discriminating against people. Our own CDC came to ostracize a bunch of us and other people that were not seditious, so they couldn't benefit from the opportunities that this country has. That's what used to happen in the past. Over and over, we've excluded certain group of Liberians, certain people based on whatever reasons. And he's come and said we cannot keep doing the same things and expecting different results. We need to do it differently. We need to include everybody on board, not just doing politics, but how we govern with unity and create a big tent where everybody feel like there's somebody. He's never said he will not work with people from past government. If you got a clip, play it. When Mr. Cummings has said he will never work with people from past government, he's never said that. Matter of fact, Mr. Cummings, vice presidential candidate in 2017 was from the UP government, the past government, Jeremiah Salante. Mr. Cummings has worked with officials from the past government ever since he got into politics. Even Chairman Gould from ANC is from worked under President Taylor. Mr. Cummings has worked with Ambassador Boyka, who was vice president under Madame Salif. She's worked with Mr. Ure under the CPP. All of you sat here and applauded that. And you're saying that his campaign team is contrary to his message? Was his message the fact that he will not work with people from past governments? Are you saying that he should not work with seditions when he wins? Because then they will be from past government? That's what you're saying. Is that the message? That Mr. Cummings should not work with people from past government, whether it's from Taylor, from Elling, from Doe, from Tauber, from Weah, including Weah. So tomorrow when he wins the elections, he should not work with anybody from CDC government? What kind of messaging is that? How can you proudly sit on this show and say that to thousands of Liberians who are listening? Is this the country we want for ourselves and for our children? That because somebody worked in the past government, so you cannot work with them? That means he shouldn't even be working with me. I worked in Elling's government. And government being the largest employer, that means you will not work with more than half of the country. But this is not what it is about. This is about the propaganda that you want to paint Cummings like somebody like we are. And let's talk about this. Mr. Cummings has always said we need to change the system. The system has not worked for us the way it is. And when you change the system, people's behavior change. The very people in the system, we say Liberians don't follow rules, they don't do this, they don't do that. But when they go to America and Europe and Canada and other parts of the world, they follow the rules there. Why? Because the system works. The system punishes bad behavior and rewards good behavior. But in Liberia, the system does not work. And so you cannot rely on individuals to act properly. But when the system is working, those individuals fall in line. And that's what Mr. Cummings' message has been, changing the system so that it works for everybody. And regardless of who you are, you will follow the rules, you will follow the laws, and you will ensure that you own your best behavior, because bad behavior will be punished and good behavior will be rewarded. How is that contrary to his campaign, his 2023 team? And most of these people on this team are volunteers. He's not appointing them, they're not cabinet ministers. They're volunteers, and there are many more to come. And every Liberian will see themselves in that team. Today, you're not talking about the representation of the country on that team. You're not talking about persons with disability. You're not talking about young people. You're not talking about market women. You're not talking about professional people. You're not talking about every sector of the society seeing themselves in that team. But you want to highlight people who you talked about Louis Brown on the show here and accused him of being a rebel, but you have not presented any evidence to that effect. You come back and use him, Mr. Chie, as defense minister who was defending the state against rebels supported by George Weah, as reported. You want to sit here and make that an issue? That Mr. Cummings is accepting everybody on board so that every Liberian feel a part of this process? So that every Liberian feel a part of the governance in the politics? We want to be divisive? Ostracize people based on what? And let me just say something on what you just did about playing this there. You actually open the wounds of Liberians who have went through that process, who saw rebels running down the streets with guns in their hands. You think these videos now available on YouTube? It didn't drop from the sky. Most of these videos are on YouTube. Most of these videos are online. But people intentionally do not share them, intentionally do not put them on social media or put them on big platforms as such because they don't want to open old wounds. We still, as a country, we've not united, we've not reconciled, we've not given justice to our people.
All right.
But we want to use politics to open up wounds to prove a point. And I don't think it's fair to the Liberian people. George Cummings brings on the issues, but not to pinpoint things. You want open wounds, you want to talk about videos, bring Prince Johnson video where he was cutting off those ear, but you know why you were not doing it? Prince Johnson supports.
And I think, Anthony Yakula, thank you very much. You know, and your comments, concerns, and views, like we all on this show, we appreciate. But I think some of my good friends, and let me speak to Liberians out there, this is a fair game. We shouldn't sit here and pretend. Mr. Cummings is Mr. Cummings, the man that is bringing change, Mr. Koga. Mr. Cummings, the name Cummings, reflect nothing but change, like so many people would say. If Mr. Cummings, I'm not blaming Mr. Cummings' decision based on the fact that he bringing in Daniel Che. I am holding him responsible for his decision based on the fact that I expected somebody different than Daniel Che. Someone different than Daniel Che. Daniel Che participated in our conflict in the country. Defense minister and whatsoever way you call him, served under NPFL, served under Chastita government, like so many of them. Are those the only people Mr. Cummings must bring under the tent? Let the CPP ANC tell the Liberian people the real reason they're bringing in Daniel Che. It will help the Liberian people. These things out there, you're right to say, Mariah, these clips are out there. But tell the Liberian people the real reason you think that Daniel Che must be the face of Mr. Cummings. When I see Mr. Cummings, I see change, not Daniel Che. Daniel Che is not a change agent. He should never be a change agent for Mr. Cummings. It's the same old, going back to the status quo. The reason why our country is where it is today, because we blame President Weah for allowing Madam Salif, President Weah, that it took Prince Johnson endorsement. Oh, Mr. Cummings is the new Madam Salif now? Mr. Cummings is the new President Weah now? Is it now he realized that he must go in the water? Like he said in Canada, I have to meet Liberia here. I got to go to be dirty to win election. Look at it, Mr. Cummings clear. When political Iman asked Mr. Cummings, we consider you about Musa Berete when you made that mistake. Must you bring Daniel Che too? Mr. Cummings said, I'm not perfect though, but this is Liberia. And we will show that Mr. Cummings clear. He said, this is Liberia and this is me. To change Liberia, I must go to meet Liberia where Liberia is, which is Liberia is like a dirty place. It's on the clip. It's on the clip. I expect nothing but greatness of Mr. Cummings. So I think by doing this, no. Mr. Cummings shouldn't flip so soon. You can't tell me that Daniel Che put your hand and say, I volunteer. Make me, or put me on the team. Put me on the team. That's me. That's me. And tomorrow when you're in government, You say, thank you, Donald Trump, go home. That's the reason why we're playing these clips. That's the
So
reason
can I
why
come
we're
in
playing
now?
these clips. Let me finish, Yaki. I want to bring you in, sir. The reason why we're playing this clip, I understand. It go back. People are complaining. People are crying. But we are playing this clip because Liberia need to know the real Donald Trump. Liberia need to know. They need to go back and understand that these things are not mistake. Mr. Cummings' decision to bring Donald Trump was wrong. Except you want to tell us that you're Madam Salif. You want to tell us that you're President Weah. You want to tell us that you're supporting Charles Taylor. You cannot beat on these people and later on accept them just to win a vote. To me, I think it was a mistake. And it was
I don't
wrong.
know if somebody.
I want, go ahead, Kev. I got to bring in Yaka. Be fast, please.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody entered because I think we off on Facebook.
Our show went off, correct?
Facebook.
Yeah, our show went off.
We still are on the radio.
We on the radio, but but go ahead, speak. Yeah, our show went off. The folks are saying it. Go ahead, speak. We'll try to reconnect. Go ahead, speak.
Yeah. Okay. You know,
I thought Yaka was speaking.
Well,
No,
sorry,
Yaka, go ahead.
sorry. Yaka, go ahead. Yaka, speak. Go ahead, Yaka.
Okay, CEO, I don't know what Spoon want to achieve when it comes to Donald Trump issue. Because I've not heard you, I've not hear you, I've not heard you talk about Ophoridia that work with NSA. I've not heard you talk about Kai Fale, that is the superintendent for Grand GD. And let me say this to my party or to the opposition. You know, when we went to Grand GD, when we attacked, AFL came. They say, I think Morale was there. We rally AFL car. I told my standing by, I said, you rally a car. I cannot be ANC man no more. We are citizens of this country and we are not being deported. The AFL post said, you got to ride a car. I said, I will drive my car to leave from here. Okay, you got to be fast. I drove my car slow because I'm a citizen of this country. Instead of waiting to my people. Look, let me say this. When Kev didn't hear ANC or opposition, they get afraid. Kev, don't be afraid. You should try to check your backyard. You still got Kai Fade there. You still got Ofori Dia there. And my father-in-law, Koga said, if you want to move people or you want to distance yourself from people that are associated or took part in the war, you will not have leader or you will not have leadership. In my mind, you know what Honorable Koga was referring to? He was referring to Ambassador Weah that supported war and have become president of this country. In my mind, and I said that what Honorable Koga said. I said in my mind, I'm trying to analyze what he said my own way, not Honorable Koga way. Honorable Koga not analyzing your way. The English you spoke, I'm analyzing in my own way. Honorable Koga was saying, upon Ambassador Weah supported war, there were all $80-something million win. Honorable Koga was trying to say in my mind. That Ambassador Weah supported war and we still made him president. The people that brought the war, the people that kill people are the people that brought the guns. The people that kill people are the people that facilitated the war. I was born on the old road, grew up on the old road. Some of us had gone because we needed to protect ourselves and protect our family. Let me tell you, today, my blood brother from Ma and Pa was killed Sami in Kakata. Two of my brothers, apart from the one that was killed Sami, died in this war. Some of people don't know why we had gone. But when the time reach, we will talk. I think we should be, Spoon should be discussing people that facilitated the war, that brought the war in the country when we were here playing Mao and forced us to hold on to sustain ourselves and to be able to protect our associates. Kev, all the thing you do, if the Lebropo won't vote for Honorable Cummings, they will vote for him. Because the Lebropo know that CDC got the West rebel. The West, I can name them on and on and on. People that are fought well with. Let's Sabato there. Like to Freeport right now. Deputy Chief of Security to Freeport. He was general. He and myself for war together. What are you doing with them? Kev, what are you doing with them? Then you talk about Danatia. Why you promoting Danatia when kind of war for Danatia? No, went on front line. Latin Danatia was doing because he was to a safe zone, trying to motivate us. I was the only police officer that used to use SOD2 to go on the front line and come back and was still protecting the people. At that time, we used to see SOD2 so bullet mark on it. Fear in ambush, got on an ambush, and we still living with protected people. You think we're proud to say we fought war? We are saying that because we want to encourage you to tell Ambassador Weah that the war economic crankle that Molba Molu met the president in Ghana. What the president name?
Obama.
Obama in Ghana for the war economic crown code. They are in position now. Then the war economic crown code come. Everything says snake, snake, snake. When is this snake coming? You accuse people falsely. You bring the snake. Then the one snake here who is supposed to kill. So we can know who will remain on earth. Stand on. You need to stop.
Guys, let me say something. Let me say something. Let me say something. Mistakenly from James N. James took us off Facebook. James was controlling our network and he took us off. So I just on the phone with them. I don't know. You can find us on YouTube. If you guys on YouTube, you can find us on.
Spoon is not on YouTube.
Yes, we are. We are on YouTube. The folks you're seeing right now, they are joining us from YouTube. But want to say we'll continue on the show. We are still on the radio. So we are on the radio. Let's try to wrap up. We are on all the radio stations, Fabric, Support, and Spoon. But mistakenly, James just shut down our Facebook from where he is. That's a mistake. So let's wrap up, guys. Honorable Yeke Koluba, we want to say
so like I'm saying, Stanton,
yeah,
do not be promoting that kind of thing on the Spoon, because the reason why I don't want you to promote it, then you trying to be selective, you trying to be one-sided, you make us to believe that you are sedition, you're trying to use this show to destroy the opposition. Let me tell you why. Because you got Ofori Diaden here. I never heard you talk about them, Honorable Stanton. You got Kalfale. Kalfale fought for Model. Because Kalfale then captured Model Ralphie at the time, the American government sat with them, from my understanding, and took most of your family to America. You understand what I'm saying? Why you don't talk about these people?
So if you bring the conversation, we'll talk about it, Yeke, okay?
But you know the conversation. You don't want to talk about it. You got interest in destroying. You got interest in destroying the opposition.
Let me come in now. Let me come in.
Come on, Yeke. Be serious for a minute. Go ahead, Kev. Kev, we are closing, so let's start with you, please.
Yeah. That's my closing. You see, you see, I always say this to folks on this show, on our platform. People attack Jefferson Koji. Nobody say, oh man, don't talk about Jefferson Koji. Jefferson Koji, they align him of fighting the war. On this show, it was fair deal for people to attack Koji. Your own brother came here and attacked Koji. It was fair deal. Nobody say, oh, you shouldn't be talking to CEO. Why you CEO now in your position? Oh no. They attack every a member of this government. Align them with the war. It was a fair deal. But we are not talking about saying because if you fight the war, you this. No. We all should come together and heal this nation. But when Mr. Cummings fighting against the government that is say that Danachi was defense minister, Mr. Cummings and then fought against that government and that president of that government to be in the Hague to leave Liberia. They fought against that man. But you taking the man defense minister. Mr. Cummings and then fought against the Chancellor government.
That's a lie.
They fought against and joined the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf team to fight against that government.
That's a lie.
But now that government defense minister, they take it. That's what we are talking. We are not talking saying if Donald Che or you fought the war, you joined, because we know we have to heal our nation. Everybody do have connection to somebody who fought the war. Like I said, my older brother spent 5 years behind the line. I don't care who you are. My favorite part in the Bible when Jesus said, "Come as you are." But Mr. Comey said no. He said no. He said no. He talked against those things. He spoke against it. He wrote.
Let's do 1 minute quick, guys. I beg you. We gotta go.
But it's something. But I will have to explain to Liberian people, because people calling Prince Johnson, you calling this. Nobody say from the CDC side that we're not coming together to heal the nation. Mr. Comey said no, those people should be prosecuted. As a matter of fact, he's saying Canada. He said if you show the evidence that Donald Trump took part, then I will do X, Y, and Z. It's there. So my quick thing here. Nobody's saying, we're not saying, especially us from the CDC side, that we have MPP. We're not saying kick the people out, but the hypocrisy in high places, that's what we're talking about. When you're traveling from here, paying your ticket and go sit down in DC and tell people that sanction Prince Johnson, sanction this person, but if that person that your own devil, you protect your own devil, because that person is person, that's what we're talking about. People need to get it.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Kev. Dr. Peabody. Dr. Peabody, can we please wrap up?
Well, I think, look, man, if I was living in a glass house, definitely would not trust Stone. Seriously, I would not.
Okay, that's a proper.
No, I'm not talking to you. Don't engage in my conversation. Okay? Do not. Get out. I'm not talking to you. Get out. I'm not talking to you. No. Be quiet. Be quiet, Kev. Be quiet.